Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me.
You know what? I talked to your mayor.
Welcome to the hat rack. Russian army of one. Population, army of one. Thumping the mic like a nuclear missile. Forged from bars of platinum grill dismissal. Blasting PR that's so out of hand that all the fudge rounds in the world won't keep you off the witness stand. And do I know? No. Or do I know? No. Well, I'm aware you never made it on my live show. And you're so hot and twisted. You mainlined a career path of lawyer once, but now delisted. Always saying the unspoken parts out loud. Grinning through questions, really are you that proud? We got him, he took the bait. Content Krampus in the meat sweats, delivering the mic hate. And here's a statement of fact. On the mic, there's one thing that you really lack. Yeah, we're talking mic skills. Unless it's gripped in rock shaped like socks to all the misguided shills. Those aren't socks. Imagine making a website admitting that despite your denials, there's no acquitted. You put your name up in lights, an ecosystem comprised of a group of random parasites. And me, I've got this feeling that ringworm would be far more appealing than tuning into that for a few hours and all the stupid that noise empowers. Granted, there's one thing that's entertaining, and that's amidst all that craning. You really think that you're shrewd while going from PR and lawyer to all of you getting stilted. Oh, and one of you has turned, and guess what? It's a name that you haven't yet learned. Someone deep in your conspiracy who's leaking info. Patience, you just wait and see. Maybe I should wear a mask, because admittedly I'm enjoying this task. So much it seems like a crime watching morons talk themselves into possibly doing time. You've been celebrating like it's Christmas, like you've won some kind of award. But the only award I'm seeing is being added to a conspiracy that includes allegations of a hitman. A hitman? Seriously? And going after witnesses in a trial, promising retaliation from the dark web. Your word, dark web, some people never learn.
Some people never ever learn, do they? Man, how's it going? By the way, Monday is going to be an epic stream. We talked a little bit yesterday about, well, there's been two new people that were brought in, right? Two new quote unquote journalists that have been brought in. One of them we talked a little bit about, but there's a second one that everybody seems to be missing. That one, wow. I talked a little bit about, what's the right word I'm looking for? Let me think. Oh yeah, convicted of fraud and extortion. 4 years in prison, disbarred lawyer. Creating fake Facebook accounts to try to pretend to be other people so they could sway an election. Oh my God, man! It's like it's unreal. It's unreal. So for Monday, we're gonna have a fun discussion because these people are asking for money for this person. It's amazing. It's like we were talking before, and we were saying, hey, some of these people are convicted scammers, you know, and they were like, convicted? Hold my beer. You want to see something? Oh my God, man. Oh, geez. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about, if you're curious about this, BBB and them are doing, they're pushing it's not a GoFundMe, it's something else. I can't remember, but it's like a GoFundMe. It's a fundraiser, right? To bring on that Volpe guy and a second one, you know, the fatter guy that he streams with. I can't think of his fucking name right now. It's throwing me off. And like I said, I'll have all this pulled up Monday for you. And we'll talk about it. That guy, you know, again, part of the attack on Jeremy Hales. Oh yeah. That guy's got a hell of a track record. Woo, baby. And they're trying to raise $10,000 to get these people on this case. Every $300 they'll cover. Like, what do you need? I mean, Bruce, like, what really killed me is Bruce forwarded me an email that had the article, the Substack article that these people had written. You know, they want $10,000 to research and cover, but they've already started covering without researching. They wrote an article, which is a piece of garbage anyway. But I was curious about the people involved because I'd already heard about the Volpe stuff. You know, about, again, I went over that a little bit last night, but his words, again, just rehashing, his words was that he was covering a story that somebody was supposed to be a victim in it. He'll call them a source. That's been his wording over and over again, but they were a victim in his story. Okay. So that's the kind of stuff he covered, but little did anyone realize while he was covering that. And, you know, when you're covering that, you're attacking someone else. Well, he's not disclosing to anyone at all that he's living with the quote unquote victim. He's having sexual relations with the quote unquote victim, which one or the other, either you're lying and trying to destroy someone else's life because you're getting this thing in return, or you're taking advantage of a vulnerable person, one or the other. Either way, that's a problem, right? Then they get pregnant. Again, this is his own words. Like I said, this is just a brief read. I'm not pulling up all this stuff, but he says this in his own interview. Okay. He gets them pregnant. Something happens along the way. After that, after all that happens, she accuses him, and he says they're false accusations. I don't know. I don't know if they're false or not. You know, I have no idea. I'm just going by his words here. But suddenly now she's not a victim anymore. She's a liar, and you know, so. Yeah, that guy by himself, I was like, wow, that's something. But he had a partner he was working with. And that guy is very interesting. Now, there's a lot. Like, he has been to prison for fucking, I mean, again, like, no joke. I'm reading on it. I'm just doing all the background on it. I'm just talking a little, you know, before things. But we're talking about, here it says, defendant, we'll just call him defendant until we're ready to talk about everything with them. Abuses status as a lawyer to conspire to commit fraud and extortion. He, together with others, devised a scheme to defraud export companies purchasing scrap material to ship to foreign customers. And then he organized a scheme to extort a co-conspirator. My favorite thing I've read so far out of this, because there's a bunch of it, he gets disbarred in all of this. And during the disbarment hearing, they talk about how in 2017, he was arrested and detained, until March 2018, when he was released on a $1.5 million collateral bond. Now, while released on bond, he sent his wife a threatening letter because he believed that she was cooperating with government prosecution. Oh, my Lord. Oh, this is going to be lit. Monday is going to be off the chain. Oh my God. I can't make this shit up. Like I said, my favorite, again, I always have to preface this with, I would never wish this on another human being. Jeremy Hales, I hate that you're going through this stuff. Having said that, this is my favorite case I've ever seen. Ever. Because I never know what I'm going to wake up to. I never do. I mean, this is some madness. By the way, this guy's go-to is calling everybody anti-Semites. That's going to be his go-to. You know, he actually made a statement. I'm paraphrasing. We'll pull up the actual letter. He wrote Megan something, which we'll have on Monday, by the way. That'll be fun. I'm teasing it, but he wrote something essentially saying, you know, would you have liked him? These are supposed to be quote unquote neutral folks, right? They're gonna be non-biased. Of course, they're raising money from the ecosystem while having records like this. But I digress. But they said they're going to be quote unquote neutral, right? Well, he got mad because he kept pumping Megan, trying to ask her for information. She's like, do your own research. You know, what the fuck? I thought you know, that's a shitty investigative reporter. So he gets pissy about it. And he says, as part of his answer, and again, there's more to it, but he was like, and again, I'm paraphrasing, would you have liked it better if I was wearing an SS uniform when interviewing Manskin? They're calling her an anti-Semite. And I'm like, dude, with his history, and again, trying to falsely accuse. Oh, there's another thing too. Let's not forget. These people are false accusers as well. Like it's part of this. Another part of my favorite part was trying to get I believe the word was stripper. I believe that's what it said in the document. Now, I'll get the word exactly right when we pull it up on Monday. But trying to get a stripper involved in going after an exotic dancer. My bad. Not a stripper. Exotic dancer. That's the words. My bad. I remember now. Totally my bad. But trying to get them involved by pay. Well, just a minute. I'll have to continue this. I hear a raider. They're coming from the steps. I'll hear them. I got to shut that conversation down real quick. Just give me a second. Hey, what are you bringing me? What is that? Is that popcorn bucket?
Yeah.
Lord.
Baby, I know you're going to be hungry soon.
Yeah.
We can share some popcorn.
Isn't it empty? It feels empty. Oh, no, it's over here. You can have this part. I can't eat that part. So go and take those up. Have fun with them.
I go eat these 2 bites. I go eat some for you.
Okay. You leave those. You leave that type for me, and you eat those. You take them up. Go eat them. Here's do you want the lid? Or do you? Okay. Take it upstairs.
Pull it back up when
okay. Go watch some TV with it. All right. Yeah. Go watch some TV with it. You can have it though. That's totally yours. Thank you for bringing that and offering it to me. Hey, will you close my door though? All right. Thank you, baby. All right. Just push my door shut. All right. Well, push my door shut. Okay. All right. Thank you. She found that we had a bucket. You know how people will give you, like for Christmas, they'll give you like a bucket with popcorn, like divided up. There was one, you know, it's sealed and those things stay good for like a year or so. I don't remember it. Who knows? But the expiration date, I was good to go. I checked it a while back, but I was like, I totally forgot about it. She was like, ooh, popcorn. Like, have at it, kiddo. But anyway, as I was saying, so the other thing in here that I found, this was an interesting one too, was trying to get, again, exotic dancer, allegedly trying to pay them to falsely report, I'm going to say essay. You know what I'm talking about with essay, accusing someone of a certain kind of assault. Someone that they were trying to accuse of that, by the way, was none other than a Staten Island district attorney. That's right. So we're not just talking about random schlobo out there. We're talking about a district attorney in an effort to disparage and to sway an election. Wow. Also, his favorite thing, apparently, when you look up articles on this too, He likes to tell people the media made fun of him for a long time, apparently, because he would challenge people in litigation to trial by combat. He's a little potato looking mofo. I'm like, battle a person. It looks like you got to battle willpower and like the sheets to get out of bed every day, dude. Like, what's going on? Oh my God. Man, very, very interesting assortment of people that we are seeing here. Oh, my Lord. Fucking Mr. Potato Head threatening people. It's Mr. and Mrs. Baby too. I'm sorry. I'm a professional. I'm sorry. Oh God, this is the weirdest story I've ever seen. What's amazing to me is at a certain point you have to ask yourself, are they doing this stuff intentionally? Honestly, are you recruiting like people like this intentionally? Because look at the assortment, the fine assortment of flavors of criminality and more that we have that are attached to the ecosystem. I mean, it's something. But I was really stunned when I saw the thing that really made me want to look into it is I got an email forwarded by BBB. Now, BBB hasn't sent me anything in a while, so I was like, that's fascinating. It had the Substack they were trying to grift at me. Yeah. And again, the Substack, $10,000. That's what they want. Apparently $300 an article. But I started. I think I'm going to send this to you, Bruce. This is my response to it. I'm like, Bruce, did you seriously forward me an article with a guy attached that, quote, abused his status as a lawyer and conspired to commit fraud and extortion, quote, while on pretrial release following his arrest, engaged in witness tampering and provided evidence to third parties in violation of a court order, quote, pled guilty to wire fraud and pled guilty to wire fraud conspiracy. Quote, became involved in politics after his return to New York. He is facing state law charges related to his involvement, including for allegedly trying to pay an exotic dancer. Here's that part. to falsely report essay by a Staten Island district attorney in an effort to disparage and sway an election. Quote, use threats of violence. I'm quoting the court, by the way. When I say quote, I'm quoting the court. Quote, use threats of violence to collect a legal debt purportedly owed by a co-conspirator. And that's just the start. I'm just getting started, baby. I'm like, dude, after the expert fiasco, the sign guy, you would think that they would have something in here that would, I don't know, look over things. So again, I continue to wonder, is this intentional? I mean, there's something. Either you're not doing your due diligence at all. And one of the problems with that is he kept saying that it doesn't have a lawyer involved yet. And I'm like, you still don't, buddy. You still don't. But they were shopping it. And, for me, I was like, well, that's okay. And I wasn't going to talk about it at all because these people are small time. But look, I feel like I have, besides the fact, this entertains me, okay? I'm going to just be blunt with it. I don't give a fuck. That entertains me. And she's yelling from the steps. Just a second. Yes, I hear you from the steps. Come here. All right. Sam.
This one, you have to wait. You have to wait for this one. Try this one for a minute. This one.
Yeah.
And that one.
Well, bring it over to me. There.
Yeah, this one, and the height, and the.
Yeah. Hey, if y'all are gonna. Well, is that all you're gonna decorate? Y'all want to decorate some more?
Oh, I took away half of it, and I have a full sticky.
Okay, well, yeah, have Sissy help you clean them off, though. But hey, I'm going to cover this thing. You need to go up and are you ready for bed now? Or do you want to watch something for a few minutes?
Yeah, I'll go watch some
All right.
YouTube.
Well, hey, okay, wait, you can go watch your show, and I'm gonna do this, okay? Now,
Yeah.
hey, make sure the door is closed, because I'm going to be talking about some crazy stuff, okay? All right, thank you, baby. Thank you. All right, close the door for me. I tell you, this is funny real fast. We went over to Barnes and Noble the other day, and they have all the discount stuff. So in the discount rack, one of the things they had was making Christmas socks, and they were like, "Oh, Dad, we'll make you some Christmas socks." It was like $2, by the way. They were discounted $2. Dad, we're gonna make you some socks. So yeah, now I have some some very pretty Christmas socks. complete with ribbons and pom poms. totally my style. I have to say though, there's a soft spot in your heart for when your kids make you crafts, because anyone can buy you something, but people that spend time to make you something, especially your own kids, oh, that's a good thing. All right. She's the one thing I like about the way she enters is she yells all the way down the steps. You can hear her coming. So, give me a second. I got to put my monitor back up. I don't have anything pulled up yet. I've got a document for tonight. I'm just talking about this. So anyway, I wanted to clarify this. Okay. The people he's brought on are small time, and talking about any of these idiots gives them more attention than they should merit. Okay, so I had to weigh the pros and cons. Now, the problem that I have with this is that these folks, again, are raising $10,000, $300 a whatever, Substack or video, whatever, but they want $10,000. Now, I personally feel that they are scamming that audience yet again. And while I don't agree with those people, and some of them I find to be repugnant, some people are just, their heart may be in the right place. They may just have bought into the ecosystem and this idea of never listening to anyone else when they speak. So I'm hoping that putting this information out there when we do, that'll actually tell people, hey, look, this is a warning. This is what your money's going to. And after that, these people do not get any more recognition. Hopefully the ecosystem would do the right thing. Return money. That person should return any money that has been picked up. But also the ecosystem should not be boosting folks like that. There's something very wrong with it. But I do the one thing that I do worry about in this, and I feel like it needs to be talked about too, is this is somebody that, as part, again, of what they pled guilty to, they deny being involved, as in being one of the people that did this directly, but they are accused of helping set up, again, with a co-conspirator. It was part of the here, give me a second. Let me pull up the right wording. I don't want to get the wrong wording on that. 1 second here. But yeah, let's see, where is it? It's part of the witness tampering thing. They used threats of violence. They cornered somebody. They had this co-conspirator group. They corner somebody, and these threats of violence to collect money out of this mess. Here's the fascinating thing too. I read across part of it. I'm trying to sort some other details, but if I'm reading something correctly, and again, we'll put it all together Monday, because it's just going to be a whopper of a tale. It's going to be something else, but as part of that, they sued, it looks like, a person that they were involved with one of the problems that they had. There was a lawsuit, and it looks like it was pointed at, the way the article reads anyway. There was that whole fake Facebook thing. That's another thing that disturbs me, by the way. So as part of the allegations, this person was creating fake accounts. We've heard that before, right? Creating fake accounts in order to pretend to be other people, in order to sway folks in an election. It's a mess. It's all a mess. And again, I felt, because at first I thought, well, their $300 a pop is definitely not going to get their money. They did everything. They pulled out every stop they could, and they got one video 1,000 hits. Now, granted, for like Volpe and his channel, that's huge. Some of their stuff gets 20 hits. I have to say, if I got 20 hits on a video these days, if I'd been on this long, because they've been on a long time. Now, again, if you're starting out or you're figuring out your flow, this is nothing a shot at you. I'm just saying, like, if they do their stuff, they get 20 clicks. So of course, they've also put up a lot of GoFundMes, like, or whatever. Again, I call them GoFundMes. Excuse me when I say that. I should call it fundraisers. But they put up a lot of them, like he has. If you click on the fundraiser, the link for it, it will bring up the other ones too. And apparently, see, I find that disturbing. Again, if you like what we do here and you want to support our platform and channel, that's fine. But I'm not charging you for research. That's insane. I could never imagine saying that I have to be paid in order to go out and do what I consider to be advocacy. Because speaking out for people that I believe are victims is advocacy. Now, when we cover case, that's one reason we cover cases as long as we do. We don't just drop a case, because ultimately there are human beings involved. And as crazy or wild as anything, I think we oftentimes lose sight, as a society, the way we one and done stuff, that we're talking about human beings. Jeremy Hales, this guy that's been isolated in this. People have tried to drive away all support, but the folks that are hedged up against him, like, he's dealing with some horrible stuff. Like some of this, and again, I want to put that on record. And I want to address it right from go, because again, I feel like there's a component in there that is not being discussed. I don't feel they either did not do their due diligence when they went over that. That is a direct possibility. I've seen the way some of them covered stuff. So they didn't do like any research whatsoever. Or the other side of that, it would be much more insidious. I mean, if they are going out and intentionally collecting people like that, that's bad. But either way, Jeremy Hales is not the kind of person to stand down. He doesn't stand down. He doesn't take crap off of these folks. And good for him for standing up for himself. The problem is, again, we've seen the response behind the scenes, up to the point with Shara, again, testifying about a hitman. So oh man, I don't know. Like I thought about it for a day. It also made me kind of angry, just to be honest. I like Megan. Megan's a good person. By the way, she's been dealing with a lot lately. Right now she's actually she's out with family stuff. So it's good stuff. She said she talked about this on our live stream, but she's not here for the last few days because she had a birthday with one of hers. So she may join tonight sometime if she gets back in time. It's not the birthday itself. There's a party, get together, So if she gets back, good. But I do have to say, one of the things that really bothered me in this is the fact that, she just, again, got back from everything that happened with Jeff. I like Jeff a lot. And I've been talking to him. I still message him. In fact, I didn't go. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to even describe, but I don't think I went because maybe it does give closure, because I still message there. One day in my mind somewhere, maybe, I don't know. maybe I expect a message back. I'm not sure, but Megan did, and she's been dealing with a lot there. Very good friend of hers. When she gets back, she's had everyone around her. These people have tried to recruit to turn on her and to isolate her. It's these classic techniques of it. And Megan's a tough person, but in the moment, you can be very vulnerable. You have all this stuff. And I'm sure, she said it did hurt her. It did, that guy that give me a sec, I can clear my throat. Sorry about that. It's that freaking weather, man. It's like, oh my gosh, oh Lord. If I just let it go, man. This is live from 2Ls. But no, I mean, they recruited someone else again that she had moved away from. And what really disgusted me is when this guy was talking about this. I mean, he said, like, again, 2Ls interviewed a guy and started helping him fundraise. A person that, again, there's two of them. One of them is the guy with the source thing. The other one is the record. Well, at one time, I guess tied into the library, the entire library thing, Megan talked about. She was a small channel back then, trying to stand against this government institution, which is rough. I tell you, when you feel like you stand alone, it's really rough. But also, when you look back, there's an when you're idealistic, there's a naivety to it when you first come online. I experienced this myself. You think everybody that says, "Hey, I'm down with the cause," they're down with the cause, right? They don't have any ulterior motives. So she ended up covering some cases with this person. And then something happened again. I've not tried to broach this subject with her because it's a personal subject, But when that guy, he didn't disclose any of this stuff to Megan while he was talking about it all. He says this in the interview with 2L. He notes this. He didn't disclose it at all to Megan. And then on top of it, that person that had been living with them writes her a letter, and she's too close to it. And also, this guy's supposed to be a friend of hers. So she's like, look, I'm not going to cover this, as a friend. I'm walking away, because again, you're too close to it. And again, it's a friend, but she tells him, that's life wrecking right there. You've become one of your stories. You have. She's telling him right there. Now, he admits in this interview that Megan could have wrecked him in that moment and didn't. And how does he return that friend favor? Well, he's on with 2Ls talking about, anything that he can, trying to drive a knife in. And I thought, man, in their quest to go after Megan, they don't vet anybody. It's just it's blinders on, and they are allowing these people to fundraise off their audience. They should just admit the fault and walk away from that mess, because that's bad. So like I said, I feel there's a responsibility. I don't want to drive traffic to these people. So I'm not going to choose. Like, I feel like this needs to be discussed. You need to see the evidence. I don't want you to have to believe what I'm saying. I want to show you the evidence. So that's what Monday is for. The evidence as far as the other guy and the convictions and all that. That's what that's for. Pull it all up. Make sure it's all crystal clear. That way, again, you shouldn't have to believe anybody. That's one of the problems. People that ask you to blindly trust them, you should wonder where they're trying to guide you. So again, for that, I feel conflicted on it, but at the same time, I feel there is, even to the people, like I said, some of the people that follow 2Ls, I found out the other day All right, I had talked about this for a minute. During that, during the bring up of the bankruptcy thing, I noted they brought up I'd had 2 bankruptcies. Oh my God, but I noticed that there were comments on this post from my wife, which a lot of people probably saw there. There was actually quite a bit of traffic on there, and I thought, well, that's weird. This is a person that does not engage in any of that. There've been a lot of personal stuff that went on. Everything's at a good place right now, so no animosity or anything like that. Her life is on track. She's getting everything good to go. Proud of that, very much so. But I thought, how did that happen? So I was reading commentary on that, and if you noted that she had been messaged hundreds of times by accounts connected to this, trying to dig up dirt on me. And I figure the commentary on that post is because somebody messaged that, again, trying to derail any good that she's been doing in her life, but also hoping that there would be some animosity and dig up something on myself. And that's not what came up with it, by the way. She was like, hey, I'm not involved in this. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, why are you people doing this stuff? But I found that out. Hundreds of attempted communications. Now, again, I'm not attaching that to any specific person, but I know where it came from. Isn't that the way? And we've seen that already, that tactic. We already saw it utilized in going after Germany. So we know exactly the people that do that. But because when I saw that, there was a post again talking about bankruptcies, and I thought, well, why exactly is there this comment on this? Where did that? How was that found? Like, how do you get led to that? This is on a posting board on Facebook, of all places. It's not like, and this is with somebody that is not really online. I mean, that was part of, again, removal, change your life, change your situation. But apparently they have harassed her to the point that she commented on stuff. And I found that to be I'm not surprised by it, but it's disturbing how these freaking people are. So I thought, well, we should talk about the players in that. And we've talked about some of the players in this insanity. We've discussed some of them. Some of them are 2-bit nobody hustlers that don't matter. And I would think, honestly, that the new additions, they wouldn't matter. But again, their backgrounds and stuff are so alarming that I feel an obligation to at least point out, again, this is other people's money, but I feel like they're being scammed out of their money. They absolutely don't. There are probably people out there that have no idea where their money is going to and what they're backing. Some don't care. But it astounds me. It does. And it's even more, in my opinion, proof of this discussion of scamming. We've talked about scamming. Like, at what point there's a certain duty to your now. I'm not saying like you can't be built for something. In the past, I've had people try to pull at my heartstrings, and one of the reasons I don't share a lot of fundraisers is because I've had people try to pull on my heartstrings and be like, oh man, this has happened in my life, or in my family's life, and you're like, oh my God, this is a horrible story. Yeah, I'll help out. And I've had a couple instances. One on Twitter where I'd shared something, person turned out to be a scammer. Luckily, nobody donated from that. And when my channel was much smaller, I had that happen. And luckily my channel was smaller then. And I don't know, I think they got 3 or 4 donations before that became a problem. But, you know, it teaches about due diligence. Like you can have people hustle you. The problem is that this is so big that I believe it's accumulating a lot of these kind of folks. You know, they're trying to get in. They see money and they're so mad about it. You see how mad they get when they talk about our breadsticks. They're like, oh my God, breadsticks. By the way, if you'd like to support, there's a difference in supporting too. You know, again, I mean, no qualm about it. If you like what I do, you enjoyed the show, you like to see the little, you like to see the little gremlins quiver and crake. Oh my God, breadsticks. Then fucking support it. But I'm going to research it regardless. If I was talking to, you know, 20 of you out there and enjoying, I'm on the ride. Now, speaking of this, you know, the thing I wanted to cover today, there's actually a new document that, now this is the document. Now, when I say new, I'm talking about, this is the last one. Now, this document we discussed last night. There was a big detail in this. I want to rehash this because I do think that this is an important item to throw in here. If you remember, BBB in part of, give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this up here. I also forgot to mute my phone. I hear it buzzing over there. And my phone blowing up all the time. This sucker's always vibrating. By the way, I forgot to give love to SC. You know who I'm talking about out there. SC, yesterday you sent over. I mean, you've done that before too. Thank you. I do not mean to omit you. Yesterday, I just did not see the notification. So thank you, SC. And for the new document here too, 100% usually there's multiple people that send something, but interestingly, only one person sent this one. This would be MaxLab. So props specifically to MaxLab. I say props to MaxLab and others many times, but this was 100% MaxLab that sent that. So props to you. Again, I'll look at the docket. I make sure that, you know, items come up on the docket, but when they pop up, if you see something pop up, let me know for sure every time, because I don't want to miss any of the documents. I try to go through everybody's mailings and stuff too. Now, again, the important thing off of this note that you see here, I covered this last night. You see this little sentence, this sentence and this little date statement, right? And along with, we're on the phone. This might seem really innocuous to you, right? No big deal. Okay. But like I said yesterday, this is actually a pretty big deal. Why? Because the judge on the 8th, I believe that's the right date, the 8th, ordered that by the 15th, that there would have to be communications between counsel. Essentially, there had been communications by writing, but there had not been communication as far as phone calls. That's what was being stated anyway. Now, again, I'm not privy to everything that goes on. So if there were, we didn't know about it. But that's what was being told to the court. There were no communications listed as far as phone calls. So the judge is like, yo, you guys need a conference. You need to have a phone call. All right. Well, out of that, again, just a note, that's why this document was so important right off the bat. It didn't just get singular coverage. You had on the 14th file date, so again, this would be toward the end of that discussion. You had Bruce file and say, these are all Bruce's filings, just to note. Bruce filed and said that Randy, plaintiff's counsel, that's Randy, adamantly refuses any phone communications. And again, the judge ordered that. You notice the word any. Any means exactly what it's saying. I know Bruce likes to slither and crawl and tries to say that the words he said don't mean the things he said. Any says there are no phone communications. That's exactly what that means. The judge took it that way too. 100%, and even put it in an order. You know, he had some pretty harsh tone with this too. Okay, so on the 15th, right after that, when the judge was talking about how Gainesville is Gainesville, Bruce, good job, by the way, not understanding that. But on that document on the 15th, he had noted this. He said this right here. This is the judge speaking, commenting. Defendants, that would be Bruce's motion, indicates that plaintiff's counsel has refused to confer over the phone in an effort to narrow the issues raised in a pending motion to compel. That had better not be the case, considering that the court has specifically ordered counsel to confer by telephone regarding the issues raised in the case. Now, remember the date. Bruce complained about that. That was the 14th. Okay, now that becomes very important because he cannot, you want the dates in here too. All right, like I said, that's very important to what we're talking about. Why? Well, because that filing, when you're talking about the 14th, they apparently had communications. It had been by phone. In Bruce's own document that we're going to go over right here, it starts out by noting that. Not only did they have that, but it happened on the 9th. So it happened right after the judge had ordered it. And we're not talking about some slow roll on there. We're talking about, well, in Randy terms, Randy's hours are like $400 an hour. So you're talking about $600 worth of phone communication. That's a lot, and that's his job. He's supposed to do that, by the way. But you're talking about lengthy communication. So what that means is that Bruce lied in his filings. It is captured in court documents. He himself outs his own lie in this document. To me, that's fascinating. I was just like, wow, you've got to be kidding me. But that's how this one kicks off. This is the report of 7.1b conference and related efforts to narrow issues. Now, if you don't understand what this is about, by the way, you had a lot of requests for documentation, reports, phone numbers, GPS data from a vehicle, stuff like that from Randy. Let me get a drink. Man, I hate this weather. So when Randy asked for that stuff, Bruce, from the reply that Randy noted, Bruce had apparently only turned over 3 videos. And those videos, they were supposed to be the messages that were requested. Now, that is a problem in and of itself. Because, like if I'm like, hey, I need any and all communications between somebody, I need a way to authenticate that. You taking a video of it means nothing, because that could be anything. They could be going in and using, items. Like if there's a website, for example, you could use something like Inspect Element, to change websites. Like if there was something in there as far as faking messages, that's very easy for folks like this to do. They could go online and fake them. So you want to be able to go in and you want to check that. There are also all these other things he was talking about, being attorney-client privilege and more. So again, that has to be hashed out. All right, so that's what this stuff is about here. So the report of conference and efforts to narrow issues. So again, he starts out right away by blowing apart this lie, this flagrant lie that Randy has not communicated with him. Upon issuance of the order, that would be document number 53, to hold a live/phone conference. The conference was scheduled for January the 9th at 10 a.m. Counsel conferred on the phone for 90 minutes. Okay, so like I said, that right there is a monster bombshell, because that outs a liar. I don't know how you plan to slither around and pretend that that's not it. I can imagine a few scenarios of the types of lying that will be attempted. But I mean, again, any. Until that conference, the defendant did not understand many of the plaintiff's requests, given their vagueness and confusing language, that some called for information in the nature of interrogatories, and some were too unspecific and overbroad to be able to determine what was being requested. Make meaningful response is problematic. So, beforehand, this was the excuse for not turning over things. Before we talked, which is fascinating, considering if you look at the communications, it looked like just stonewalling. This judge does not look like somebody that truly would appreciate stonewalling. There were generic responses that were given to, and the answer from Randy was actually a pretty good one, because if you go back and look at that filing, we actually went over it, but if you look at it, giving generic statements saying, hey, this is my defense, and not really going into that won't work. Courts have ruled many times that trying to just, again, use generic stonewall, that essentially is saying, I don't have a defense. I don't have one at all. So, following the conference, the defendants provided responses to 17 of the plaintiff's 20 document requests. Some responses were provided notwithstanding objections. Now, 3 unresolved objections remain to request on number 5, 11, and 12. So following the conference on January the 12th, the undersigned emailed the plaintiff's counsel. Okay, so see that they have phone conferences. Just to note, they've conferred multiple times after this. So not only do they have phone conferences, but on top of that, they've had more email discussions too. So to further narrow the issues, it has been your client's regular practice to show on YouTube any and all private communications of my client that he's obtained from any source. Are you willing to stipulate that any private communications, phone numbers, and other non-public information we provide will not be shown or read publicly or YouTube or shared with any third parties? If you will stipulate, I can determine our position in light of that stipulation. Now, one thing, see, he's playing a game here. You look at what he's trying to lock down. Now, phone numbers, I agree. I 100%. If you were just talking about phone numbers, sure, redact those. They can be redacted off any court document. I mean, 100%. Now, there has to be a way for them to fact find, to check those. So, of course, they couldn't send them over redacted. But as far as phone numbers, they can redact them in documentation. 100% can be done. No muss, no fuss, no problem, right? The other stuff, though, what is a private communication? I mean, Bruce has been claiming that emails, for example, emails like he sends to me, that's a private communication. Or the messages that were sent to Shara, for example, those damning messages that we saw, those are doxing to talk about, according to him. Those are private communications. Also, again, he's talking about anything that is not popped up on YouTube. Now, not on YouTube, but not in public, rather. And one of the problems with that too is that BBB has been involved in this as well. Like, some of this stuff has to be really freaking embarrassing for him. Like, when you look at the Shara video for the August 15th discussion going on behind the scenes, I mean, those right there, you have them all sitting around. She actually is told that she's a celebrity, but they're not going to publicly embrace that. I mean, you have statements like that tell you and tell everybody else. See, here's the problem too. Anyone that were to do their due diligence and actually look over some of these messages, they might find this rather disturbing. This is a problem for the ecosystem, because the ecosystem, the more factual information that you obtain, the more items that you can say, yeah, that's a problem. That's a legit red flag. It gets harder and harder for them to just shake that off and pretend. Now, it's worked for them so far with some people out there for sure. I mean, people have ignored, again, messages from MP to Shara talking about like horrific stuff that the child alleged about JC. She also has accused several people, including her own grandchild, of abuse. You had BBB say that those are real in an email to Shara. All of that stuff again. He, of course, would want that locked down. He doesn't want you to know about that. And of course, they don't want you to know about that stuff, because if they do, well, that doesn't go with the narrative that they've tried to pull. Oh, poor, indigent, that everybody gets along. I mean, the narrative alone on the grandson, like that takes a wrecking ball to it. The narrative was supposed to be that everybody was hunky-dory, everything was going along, they were singing Kumbaya, all of this nonsensical stuff. And meanwhile, you find out that what was really happening behind the scenes, well, I mean, you saw police reports. You saw them saying that they were afraid of John Cook. You also saw communications. You got a real feel for Bruce and anger. I mean, that stuff was really telling. So, anyway, the plaintiff's counsel responded, I will never stipulate to anything that has no basis in jurisprudence of the world. Please stop acting like you're not an attorney. And again, there's Randy. He's like, yo, I ain't agreeing to that crap. That has no basis whatsoever in lockdown. We're not talking about secrets with a business. We're not talking about other issues there. We're talking about communications here that they, I'm going to say with some of the, I'm going to use a word, and again, Jeremy's not on trial, but you have to remember he is on trial in the court of public opinion. That's one of the things these people have done. They have put him on trial in the court of public opinion, and they have found him guilty. And they are trying to say, without evidence, they try to say all the time that the man is guilty. Now, this evidence may well exonerate him. So why wouldn't he want to share it? Why wouldn't he want the world? I mean, their statements have definitely been out there. The things that they've made public facing, and they spend hours upon hours stating, those are definitely there. So why wouldn't you want that? So please stop acting like you're not an attorney, though. No, yeah, straight up. Randy's like, nope. Now, on January the 20th, in a final effort to resolve the remaining issues on the motion to compel, the undersigned emailed the plaintiff's counsel that objections were being dropped to 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and explaining the remaining issues with the other requests. The email concluded, I'm available Monday after 10, Tuesday until noon for a phone call if necessary. If you would respond by email indicating any agreements, we can plan a call to discuss the remaining issues. No response was received. Now, the judge did not say you have to you have to end up billing. See, this is a guy that drove his own admissions that drove 5 months of delays, bragged about it. He was like, I delayed this for 5 months. That's a win. I mean, remember him talking about that, right? And one of the things that causes, a big one, a big issue for Jeremy Hales, is that we're not talking about time, but we're talking about money. You know, time is money, especially when you're dealing with courts, especially when you're dealing with lawyers. That's the reality of it, by the way. That's not stated negatively. I do think that justice should be easier and cheaper to resolve. That's another issue in and of itself. But folks like Randy that are at the top of their game, they definitely should get paid for it. You know, if you are good at something, yeah, you get paid for that skill. This, though, forcing more and more and more and more and more, you really you can't hash out details. It sounds like an hour and a half. I mean, that's quite a bit of time. And that's assuming that there was no response. That's a big assumption, too. That is a big assumption, because you have to remember, we're already talking about a guy that I just showed you right off the bat lied in prior communication. So if he's stating this in this, you know, he also said that he had never received calls. You remember the hang up call? You know, when Randy called and he was like, yeah, you were yelling at me and then you hung up on me. Yeah. Remember, he was denying that communications happened there as well. So, I mean, it's a big assumption to go with that narrative anyway. But, oh man, I mean, it's crazy when I have to look at a legal document and I have to say, well, is that really true? Typically, you have spin. Lawyers do spin. They want to do what's in the best interest of their clients. But spin and lies are a totally different thing. Again, remember, he used the words any, you know, not, I didn't receive it after communication. He said plaintiff's counsel adamantly refuses any phone communication, including any additional calls in furtherance of narrowing issues raised. So it's any. Again, that was his statement. And we know that that's not true. So the amended discovery responses were served January the 21st, maintaining objections to only 3 requests, which are addressed here. So B, remaining unresolved documents are document requests or objections. So there would be number 5. RFP, remember, that means request for production. You know, hey, I request that you produce this. I want you to give me this. This is part of what we need. This would be number 5. All phone records sufficient to show. By the way, here's another interesting addition to this. I'm curious, you know, and we've seen the ecosystem, 2Ls, they started bragging about getting all of this new stuff. Communicate, you know, they got computer, microphone, all of this other equipment, but they also started bragging about phones. And in the comments, when they were talking about this, you had NP say, oh yeah, me too. Now it makes you wonder, new devices in the middle of everything that's going on. That's interesting, isn't it? But anyway, I digress. Does that come with new phone numbers, though? Are we, even with new devices, are we carrying everything forward? Are we potentially, you know, dropping everything off? That just, it seems a little peculiar. I very much... If they got new devices, see, what happens when you get a new phone too is you trade in the old device, right? And when you trade in the old device, you do carry over certain items, but that is your prerogative. You can, or maybe you don't carry over certain things. Now, the timing on that is very, like I said, it's very suspect. You know, we have the request for productions going on. All of this evidence, fact-finding stuff is going on, and suddenly new phones pop up in the middle of it. I don't know. Like I said, that just, you know, look at that how you will. But I did find that to be very peculiar, especially given the light that That became a bragging point. Oh, yeah, new devices. You would think, by the way, people would keep their mouths shut about that, but hey, guess not. But all phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers you used during the relevant time period, and all documents, including mobile phone billing records showing the calls you made and received during the relevant time period relating to the allegations in the complaint or in plaintiff's response in opposition to your motion for summary judgment. That's including all exhibits attached here too. Now, the objections. Oh, it's fishing. You knew this would be like, you're just fishing. Here's the thing. All fact finding is in and of itself casting a wide net, but it's not a fishing expedition. A fishing expedition is stating that you don't know, but he does know. In fact, he knows that certain time periods, there's a lot of crazy going on. In fact, he's probably privy to more than you know, or I know, or Megan knows. There are many things I would state because, one of the things Jeremy has been as open as he can publicly about whatever, and privately, I imagine he's the same way. He has his lawyer, as himself. Those two, they have that strategy. They have, God knows what they actually have in there that they've set on, that they've kept. But it's like this request is not reasonably or narrowly tailored to seek discoverable, relevant evidence, but is designed to place the defendants to unreasonable burden and is a classic fishing expedition for evidence in support of claims. It's like, hey, during those times when you were saying these horrible things, like, you were having messages with people like Shara, for example. You were talking about the $65,000, which we find out actually relates to the thing that was being discussed publicly and openly, which, they denied some of these things being about Jeremy Hales, but when you look at the behind the scenes discussions that are going on, you find out not as disconnected as they wanted you to believe. But they're like, this is all fishing expeditions. I mean, while discovery, and then they note Porter v. Ray, while discovery is broad, parties may not engage in a quote unquote fishing expedition to obtain evidence to support their claims or defense. Now, the thing in there that you note, discovery can be very broad, and again, the terminology fishing expedition, they're using that. They're using that as a descriptor. How far does that go? Well, what makes one the other, or not the other? And that might be an interesting argument to behold. So how can the defendants know if a call related to the allegations in the complaint from a call log? This request seeks documents obtainable from third parties as easily or more easily than the defendant can obtain them, and or would require the defendants to create documents that do not exist. Creating documents that don't exist. Huh? You talking about a call log? Call logs do exist. Let's see. It's asking for call logs during the time period. Especially like during the sign moment, right around that period. That's a very interesting time frame and something that you would want to hammer down. Now, of course, I get the impression that I get the impression that they did not want to be very descriptive about that moment. That's just the way, again, GPS, nope. the way they handled that at first. No, this other stuff, and it does make you wonder. I mean, there are very relevant time frames. They say this request would impose on the defendants the burden of going through phone logs since January the 1st, 2020, and somehow knowing which individual calls, quote unquote, related to the allegations in this case, which is impossible. Even if just providing the phone logs without identifying specific entries as relating to the allegations, this request would divulge every single phone call. You know what you can do right in there is you're looking at the time periods when that stuff is when that's posted. I'd be curious. I bet you there's an army of phone calls to 2Ls, for example. Armies of them, and I'm sure they don't want you to know that. They don't want. Also, interestingly, I'm curious about this. When did the Bruce contacts start? That would also showcase something there too, because he's talking about this case. And remember too, here's a fascinating little tidbit as well. Remember, for the longest time, the spin on communicating with LP period, talking about this case, that was spun as harassment. In fact, we had a judge say with the Florida now dissolved case that communications, if you tried to communicate with her, if you requested anything, that could actually blow back on Jeremy. Could be a problem there. So that's one of the classic insanity items that Megan Fox pointed out in one of her initial articles. She pointed out that as a journalist, she couldn't get both sides of something. Now, I noticed that they don't stick to that when it comes to people that they want to cover the case. This, you want to find out who's a non-neutral party real quick. Look at who they deny access to LP. Like that, straight up. Because I imagine if you get into those phone logs, you're going to get into some very interesting little tidbits. But even if just providing phone logs without identifying specific entries as relating to the allegations, this request would divulge every single phone call the defendants made or received, which would enable the plaintiff to call any number to determine whom it belongs to and ask whoever answers on the other end whatever he wants about the defendants to use for whatever purpose he wants, such as YouTube content. God, can you imagine? I bet you there are conspirators out there that you have no idea about. I bet you. I think it would hammer down I think the level of communication would probably be mind-boggling. That assumes, again, we'd need every phone number covered over. But this is a license for him to invade the defendant's privacy and use what information he finds out for whatever purposes he wishes. Now, there is no reasonable expectation of discovering any admissible evidence, nor is the request narrowly tailored for that purpose. The burden of request outweighs any benefit because the plaintiff cannot explain what relevant evidence he expects to discover through this request. Now, the plaintiff the defendants, I said plaintiff, the defendants, that would be, again, LP and crew, further object because plaintiff's current complaint and the summary judgment opposition collectively contain the totality of alleged statements by the defendants for which the plaintiffs claim defamation, extortion, claims to be dismissed, and tortious interference. I love how they don't point out, like they by the way, this has been a big Bruce thing. He's been saying over and over again. He's like, oh, the weight of that decision, everything in there, it's being overshadowed by a footnote. Yeah, the footnote that says the trial is going forward. but it's going forward with claims of defamation and tortious interference. And by the way, if you look, tortious interference is a hard freaking thing to get to move forward. It is. That is one of the most difficult types of cases to actually get moving forward. So if any are actionable, there would be no need for him to invade the defendant's private communications in search of evidence. No, he's playing this is the totality of the complaints, the statements that were made. That's the totality of evidence. That is not the case. We have fact finding, so we can lock down what we know about, but we can find other things too. Now, a judge will decide whether or not any of that stuff is actually relevant, but you're not stuck to just the statements that you saw in documents. That was showing the court, hey, here, I'm presenting this. I'm presenting specific claims. I'm presenting evidence to back those claims. But when you start going into fact finding, you're going to find a lot more out there, potentially anyway. I shouldn't say you will find. I imagine, I imagine there's a lot more, because we've seen, if Shara's communications are any indication of what's been going on behind the scenes, and I believe that they are, well, that just gives you an idea of it. So there's no apparent connection to any of these claims or the factual allegations underlying them with the request for communications, quote unquote, relating to the plaintiff since January the 1st, 2020, or for any time period. Nothing the plaintiff can discover in private communications will magically change the non-actionable statements identified in the complaint and summary judgment opposition into actionable ones. You're not going to find anything that would change it. You notice this is garbage too. Typically you don't go back and repeat yourself. As far as calling something a fishing expedition, you don't do this twice. You've already given, the notation on that. So you don't go through, you don't make your case, note something above and say see, and then say it again. That's not typical. But hey, I guess that's Bruce. The defendants further object because, as a public figure, the plaintiff is not entitled to insert into a court document a hodgepodge of statements he finds offensive. No, we're not talking about offensive statements. So they're telling you there are plenty of offensive statements. But what they're also telling you is the other part, that they are indeed communicating about Jeremy Hales. Now, one of the things that we found amidst offensive statements, again, Shar is the perfect example of that, we found out that Mr. Cook was using false accounts. He was creating fake people in order to harass Jeremy Hales. That stuff is a problem. We're not talking about, again, offensive. Offensive, well, offense, again, is not given, it's taken. And an offensive comment, who cares if somebody calls you fat, dumb, stupid, well, whatever. That is not the point of any of this stuff. There's a big difference in calling somebody fat, ugly, stupid, misinformed, whatever, depending on what they want to take offense from, and calling them something like an arpist. I'm going to have a kid writer in a second, I think. Yes. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, kid writer. They turned around, so it's all good. But yeah, with the whole idea of, again, offense versus, I think that there's a gold mine to find out there, and I think they're trying to lock you off from it. But the statements he finds offensive or are critical of him, again, there's a big difference in being critical. You could have you can have opinions about the way someone comports themselves. Like you'll see people again talk about the way that complaints are approached. Oh, I don't like this because too forceful, profanity, whatever, in that. Now, being critical of somebody, that's one thing. But again, calling them an ARPist, calling them a PDF file, that's much different. Let's just make that very clear. But which are not remotely actionable by a public figure. It's funny, they like that word public figure with Jeremy, but they don't like that public figure when they're talking about themselves, do they? Isn't that interesting? Crown them, graduated legal claim, and then use that as justification to invade private lives and communication in search of who knows what for use of who knows how. Although his regular practice, look at it, doxing, he uses this claim of doxing. Although his regular practice is to make YouTube content, doxing private communications. If you send communications to another person, that communication there is no expectation of privacy. Now, you may have the expectation because you believe that somebody is, for example, they're like a friend, hey, my friend shouldn't put that out. That I can understand that. But, there's a big difference in, hey, I think this guy's a jerk. And again, hey, about those claims and doing something horrible with it. I mean, there's a much bigger difference there. So the idea, though, that communications, that private communications, they're somehow shielded off. They can never be seen. This is ridiculous. The idea of private superior. Hey, wait a minute. I heard a ding in there.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. A sighting. Who is this ghost I hear?
I haven't been able to keep up with what you're doing tonight because I got the bug. I got the Suno bug to make a new song. And it's so good. I want to give the chat a little preview. How are the super chats doing?
They're doing okay. They're about, let's see, about close to 30. So they're doing all right.
Doing all right. Not good. That's not good enough, chat. I'm going to give you the most amazing sneak preview of my new song that you are going to love. It's called No More Yoga.
No more yoga. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
I don't know. We need to set another goal, maybe. Send the breadsticks. You're going to want to hear this. I decided I've been feeling kind of low, with all the betrayal and backstabbing and drama and loss and grief. And, there's just so much of it that I decided I had a good sleep. I had a good cry. And then I decided, what they hate the most? They hate that we're funny.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be funnier than ever before. And I have written, this musical is going to be so fire. It is unbelievable. I have written a song that is so good. Not even Slug could tell me that it sounded like AI. He goes, I hate the fact that this sounds great. Like, it's so good. And I am working on the video, and I want to give you guys a sneak peek. So, why don't we read more of whatever this is? What are we reading? I don't even know.
We're going over the wonderful document here. Let me mark my place. All right, give me 1 second. Let me mark it. Page 4. We are going over the last document from BBB, the report of 7-1. The document where he admits that he lied about the phone conversation.
I still haven't read this. This is great. I will sit here and listen to us read this. When we hit, let's say, when we get up to like
let me show you something.
Let's do 50,
Okay.
50 total. So that would be
Okay.
like, what are we at, 30? So that's only 20 more. You can do it. Beggin' Megan is here.
Megan's
Believe me, you do not want to miss this. You do not want to wait another second to see this. You don't. It is so good. AI has gotten so good that it got me leaping out of bed last night going, are you kidding me?
Man,
I was dancing around my room.
The jumps from in Suno have been so impressive.
Oh, impressive. very
So
impressive.
you have not read this document
I have
yet.
not. No.
Okay. Like I want to note this too, since you and I haven't gotten to discuss this. Okay. We haven't talked about it live, but I think this is a subject. Again, the chat and I have discussed this, but you and I have not. So remember January the 8th. You remember the judge saying, hey, you guys, you need to talk on the phone. You know, not just through email. You need to talk on the phone. I mean, you remember that, right?
I do remember that, yes.
Okay. Well, you remember also, I just want to draw my little evidence trail. As we discussed it, luckily I have it all pulled up, so I just have to refocus on each one. You remember the complaint from BBB with the file date, the 14th. So you're talking about, again, these dates are important. 14th, we have the 8th and the 14th, where he says, and the key word in here is any, you know, because I know how slithery he is, where he stated to the court that plaintiff's counsel adamantly refuses any phone communication. Any whatsoever.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that.
Now, you also remember the judge responded, and he
was like,
pretty,
you better not.
Yeah, he was.
You better not.
He was very harsh in his statement. Defendant's motion indicates that plaintiff's counsel has refused to confer over the telephone in an effort to narrow issues raised in a pending motion to compel. That had better not be the case. Better not. Considering the court has specifically ordered counsel to confer by telephone by, I believe it was the 15th, the date. So when this is filed, it would be there. So you would think, you know, with this discussion, it would have to be, if any communications came in, they would have to be after that. They would be after like the 14th and beyond, right? I mean, that would make sense. Yeah. Otherwise, that would be a problem. Right. So in this,
because he said on the 14th that there were absolutely zero.
Yes, any
phone communications, none, any. Zero.
So at the beginning of this, he notes a report of conference and efforts to narrow issues. He says at the beginning here, upon issuance of the order, that was Doc 53. That's the one that the court specifically refers to when the judge is like, that better not be the case. That's the one he's referring to. He says that in the footnote, Doc 53, to hold live/phone conference. The conference was scheduled for January the 9th at 10 a.m. So this is after.
He didn't show up?
No, they have a phone conference. And guess what? Counsel conferred for 90 minutes.
90 minutes? How is that no telephone conference?
Exactly.
How the heck is that? What? How does he get away with this? This is unbelievable. We're almost there, guys. We're at 48 right now, I think.
Let's check it.
Only 2 more.
You're rolling fast.
I'll get it set up. I think we're going to get it.
Megan is the expert, I tell you. They hate you, Megan. They do. They hate you, and I love it. I kind of love it. I mean, again, I hate that you've had to deal with the stupid with that you've had to be targeted by the weirdos, but I love that.
I know, but you know what? The truth is, I learned this from reading Rules for Radicals, actually, which is what my book about the library is built
Alinsky,
on.
Man. Yep.
Saul Alinsky was the king of, social activism, right? And his first rule is number 1, ridicule is your greatest weapon. And the reason why they are so angry about the yoga is because it made people laugh. And laughter, and I know laughter is more powerful than weapons of war. Laughter has won wars. When you laugh at the enemy, they hate it more than anything. Once people start laughing at you, it's over. And I prefer laughter to war, personally.
Well, they're waging a battle, a court battle, not just in a courtroom, but in the court of public opinion. And in that, there is no due process. They've already found Jeremy Hales, and anyone that doesn't agree with them, they've found you guilty. You are 100% guilty, and they are wanting to ruin you. So being able to laugh at them and point out they're stupid, oh, of course, that is a very powerful weapon.
Well, you did it, chat. You did it. We're at now 58. So let me see. Now, if you can't hear this, we're in trouble. If you can't hear it, all right, hold on. Let's test it. Can you hear this?
Saw
Can you hear
No,
that?
I can't hear anything, man.
Are you lying?
I'm messing with you. Don't turn it off.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to give you. Is it very loud? Should I turn it down? Is it very loud?
Maybe just a little bit. There. That's not bad.
Not
That's
bad?
not bad.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Ready?
Think so.
Give you a sneak peek. The whole video is done. You're not going to get to see it all tonight. However, you are going to get to see at least through the first chorus. Here we go.
Saw a fox in the courthouse steps, twisting and turning without regrets, with downward dogs and feline ploys, distracting me from ecosystem joys. No more yoga under legal skies. No more poses that mystify. Keep your namaste far away. I'm here to win, not watch you sway.
All right, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get. That's enough. That's enough. That's all. How fantastic is that? It gets better. It gets better and better. It is so funny. Wait till you see some of the. God, my hair is crazy. That was hilarious. Look at my hair. My hair is so nuts right now. I just get. Look at.
Looks like you're building dreads, man.
I know. I was just trying to keep it out of my face, but it doesn't. I was dancing around, so Anyway, so fantastic! It is going to be so funny. This is going to be part of the musical, and there's so much more to it. The second verse is so funny. Second and third verse will have you on the floor. Okay, have you on the floor. It's so good.
I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It turned out like Ben Folds 5. I'm so excited for it. And I love the Bruce on the piano, like with the pained expression on his face. Like, wait, here, look at this picture. Look at this. Look at look at this. And with the Fats in the background, they're the backup singers, the
That's
Butter
beautiful.
Twins. Look at, oh God, is this fantastic with the leather outfits that are too tight. Oh, I just love this.
Oh
so
man,
fun. Look
that
at
is
this
genius
one.
too.
This one's so good. And there's more. There's more. It's gonna be. You're gonna love it. That's so amazing. Much. I think I shall debut this on. When are we back on my channel next? Monday?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Monday we're going to do that big discussion about the. So I teased that a bit. I was talking about, and I talked about some of items, but again we haven't really gotten into it. And I talked about 2 players have emerged into the game. 2 people have been recruited. Now, one of them got a lot of attention because they wanted to interview them more, and I talked about them. But there was a second one that I kind of took notice of when BBB forwarded me that article, the Substack article, because it listed their name on it. And yeah, when we started looking at that name, there's a lot of stuff that comes up,
Oh, it's unbelievable. I feel like I'm I'm being punked. Where is Ashton Kutcher? This cannot be real. This cannot be. The one lawyer that Bruce finally finds to agree with him is a disbarred ex-con. Wait, it's even worse than that. A mentally ill, disbarred ex-con who went after his wife, got his wife. Oh God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Who went after a disabled person. His crimes were called bizarre and ruthless by a federal judge.
Yeah, some of the quotes I was noting these as, quote, abused his status as a lawyer and conspired to commit fraud and extortion. Again, This is court quotes. Here's another one.
Conspired to commit fraud and extortion. They extorted a disabled blind man.
They were forced into, what was the restitution number? It was $559,000 something.
Yeah, over $500,000 in restitution, you guys.
559, 911, and 26 cents.
And
so
this guy is the partner of the person who wants $10,000 to report on this story. They are scamming you right now out of $10,000. Not you. You people listening here are way too smart to fall for that. Oh my God.
I mean, it's insanity.
Created fake Facebook pages to set up a politician with a hooker. It's incredible. It's so much. I can't even.
Yes, and pled guilty, by the way, to wire fraud conspiracy. We will note that as well, because it wasn't just, accused of, but was convicted of.
Pled guilty. And by the way, he has a big Substack article about why he's not guilty. It's like, when you plead guilty, you sign a document that says you cannot say you're not guilty.
Wait,
you are not allowed. You are not allowed to write Substack articles saying I'm innocent. It's in the pleading. It's right there. You're not allowed to say I didn't do this thing that I'm pleading guilty to. He didn't plead no contest. He pled guilty.
Well, what disturbs me about this is either, I mean, again, if you want to give these people the benefit of the doubt, which I do not, as far as the ecosystem, I'm just talking the ecosystem themselves, not these two. They, at best, do no research, which is true. I mean, they don't really do any research. But when I keep seeing names that come in, like again, the guy with the expert with the sign, are you kidding me? You didn't do any research into that? When you have other people that are coming in and you look at their records, you're like, are you kidding me? And then this person come in? I mean,
these two dumbasses wrote in their Substack, whatever, their first article that they were paid $300 to write. Their very first article says Bruce says there's no photographic evidence of the signs. You've all seen the signs. We've all seen the signs. They're in the pleadings. These two morons didn't even read the docket. They didn't even read the pleadings. What a bunch of dumbasses. I can prove them completely wrong in 5 minutes. But This is what these people are listening to. A freaking scammer, convicted fraudster taking money from these scamming scammers. You got to love it. You got to love it.
This
amazing. Is too funny.
Well, it's amazing. When I started looking at this, I had to, we're talking with Megan. I was like, oh my God, is this real? And what's really telling about it, again, like when you find it, this person, they're very distinct. Again, it looks like if you had if you set a mold wrong when you're making a toy, how it comes out. It looks like a Mr. Potato Head that was rolled through and something happened that was bad. But it really stands out to me as who they are. So when you pull up articles that are related to them, you not only get an article, but the picture of the person was there too. You're like, oh, okay. Well, that's undeniable. That is indeed. And then of course, you have the attempting to excuse it and other items. I felt like we kind of had an obligation to point some of this out because again,
just like I had an obligation, if I had questions about the fundraising on the Ecosystem Hate channel, but I did not decide to drop the information I had about the backgrounds of the people involved until somebody asked for their money back, and suddenly there was no transparency. And then it became very, very relevant that the people, and they were refusing to give transparency, that the people running the scam were being serially evicted from places, not paying their bills. The husband is a felon who's scamming elderly. And by the way, I have found more on Gabriel Weeks, another 84-year-old victim in his past, and there will be more coming out as well on that. I have more FOIAs in. One has come back already, and I found that he's got an alias, a totally different name.
It's a wild, man. I feel like sometimes like I've stepped into a Twilight Zone episode or something.
Yeah, we do have a duty to point out that the people involved in this have these incredibly checkered. I mean, that's being kind.
Yeah, that's very nice to say.
A checkered past is like the nicest way to say it. These people, we were in the beginning. It was like, it's like a criminal organization. No, seriously, this is a criminal organization.
Yeah.
It's full of criminals. People who scam people.
I've never seen Rico, somebody say, "Oh, this is," and been like, no, I'm usually like, no.
Yeah, it's never Rico until maybe now. Yeah, until maybe now. It's funny.
Oh, thank you.
You got a raider?
I had a raider dropping me on. Thank you, kiddo. Appreciate it. Go up there. Thank you. She was dropping me off some popcorn.
World's dumbest criminal organization. Well, I'll tell you what, they don't hide their shit very well. They don't. They do not hide their
man, we need an
well.
acronym for DERP. Dumbest ecosystem representative peoples or something.
DERP. Dumbest ecosystem. Rico. No, Rico is an acronym. Can't put that in there. Dumbest ecosystem. Removing
ecosystem.
Yeah, I can't do it in my head. I have to look at it on paper. Guys, if you pull in 20 more super chats, if you get 20 more super chats in here, I will give you another sneak preview of another song that I wrote about the ecosystem. Because I've been on a tear this weekend.
Been on the tear.
I've been on a total songwriting tear. I have another one. What is that one called? Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yes, Derek, that's our R. Ridiculous.
The dumbest ecosystem of ridiculous persons.
Derps.
That's perfect. Ridiculous.
How about dumbest ecosystem of repeat perpetrators? That's good too.
Of repeat perpetrators. Repeat perps. I do like
repeat
that.
Perps. Well. I do like that. Yeah, I've got another song. It doesn't have a video, but I can give you a sneak preview of another song that I did about the ecosystem. It's like a Devil Went Down to Georgia sort of thing, except it's Devil Went Down to Florida, and it's
Devil Went Down to Florida.
Yeah, I've been having
some signs to post.
I've been having some fun with Suno because I pay for it, so I should have fun with it. And I thought that we should do way more laughing at them than we have been. Even though we do laugh, I have not been feeling all that great. I had a rough week last week, so. But now I'm feeling.
Took you a minute to get there. Yeah,
took me a minute.
I did. You know what? Like you said the other night, just gotten back, and you were like, "Hey, these people are trying to they tried to hurt me, and they did. That hurt. So congratulations on that." And it takes a hot minute to shake that off. It does.
Yep.
But
yep.
You got some sleep, and for me, I don't know. There's a little anger switch, and that little thing. It doesn't come out in the.
Oh, I have that. You know what? Okay. I have merch about that. It's called the bitch switch. Flip it and find out. Flip it and find out. That's exactly what it is.
Hilarious.
I think it's funny how someone thinks, oh, she had a chance to ruin my life and she didn't. And you think that this is going to help me not do that? Is that what you think? Is that what you thought? Did you think that? You're a motherfucking moron. You thought that you would do that after I showed you kindness, after I showed you mercy. You think that this is going to help? Going to help me not destroy you? Like, probably not. No, it's a bad bet. It's a bad bet. But people make their bed. You make your bed, then you go lie in it.
Actually, here's another thing.
With your victim, by the way. Go lie in it with your victim.
So they kept pushing everybody for interviews, and they also kept grilling Megan specifically over, hey, do my research for me.
Tell me where I'm wrong. Do your own goddamn research. You're supposed to be an investigative journalist. I've spent a year on this case. Right. A year. I have spent a year of my hard energy and time. And that person who went out and talked shit about me, he knows how I work. He knows what I dig up. He knows what I'm capable of. And yet he still decided to
That's
take
why
the
they
other
want
side.
your info, because you work hard and you're freaking.
But if I gave them my info, they would have to slink away in shame because they're wrong. They're completely wrong.
But what I found fascinating was when you noted that, hey, do your own freaking research. It's not my job, that they started leaning heavy on the you're an anti-Semite.
Yeah, we're going to read that email on Monday. It's going to be
I noted the again paraphrasing the uniform comment that would you feel better essentially if I was wearing a Yahtzee uniform when I
what
was
an idiot.
I was just like, you disgusting piece of garbage. If that right there, it tells me right off the bat, number one, they know nothing about this. And number two, that's going to be the quote unquote merit of their claim. It's going to be, oh, he had a nickname. Oh, a despair. Well, I thought this document that we're rolling through, actually, the funny thing about it is they get into, so here, check this out. They say this is one of their objections. They object to 3 items they don't want to turn over. And one of them, they're noting the defendants further object because as a public figure is not entitled to insert into a court document a hodgepodge of statements he finds offensive or critical. I thought so. Offensive comments, you take offense to something. So I guess when you're saying someone's an ambulance chaser, that comment there, that's not according to them actionable. It means nothing. So when somebody talks about how I don't know, you're a sleazy lawyer, you're awful, they give you a nickname, again making fun of your name. They talk about like your facial feature there, like your spin to that instead is going to be, racist. Are you kidding me?
These people.
They are awful, man. They are. But
jumping to the immediate anti-Semitism and the immediate racism and stuff, we're beyond that now, folks. Those words mean nothing anymore. You guys have overused them. Everybody knows now that this is just a political tactic that people use to get their way. When babies throw tantrums, they throw the word racist around. They throw the word anti-Semitism around with absolutely no proof of anything. Yeah. I'm sick of that. Everybody else is sick of it too.
I'm sick of it too, because there are actually racists out there. There are horrible human beings.
Yeah, and it makes it mean nothing when you point your finger at someone who is just criticizing you for your stupid legal takes, and then you say that they're anti-Semites. Well, that makes no sense.
We're also not obligated to nicety. So this is issue. This always bothers me with the whole critique of Jeremy. Any criticism, he's supposed to have all of this stuff aimed at him, and he's supposed to be like, by Jove, I disagree. No, not at all. You aim shit at me, like I come out swinging. Like that's the way it works. And I can call you fat or stupid or whatever I want. Those, you may find that term offensive. You may be like, oh, that's too far. Really? Are you kidding me? A lot of people trying to ruin your life. And
yeah, Jeremy doesn't have a problem with criticism. Like he didn't sue people for criticizing him.
He's also a smart businessman. Okay, here's the thing in business. This is the thing I talk about. I don't give a crap who you are, who you love, as long as anything you're doing legally. Again, I'll talk about kids sometimes with stuff, and anything else. I don't care what you do in your life, as long as it's legal. You live your life how you want. You're an adult. You do whatever you want. I don't care color. None of it. It doesn't matter, as a human being, first of all, but also as a businessman. A real business person does not limit that. And people that are successful, people out there notice that. Somebody like Jeremy would not get to the size that he is, what he's been doing, if he were what they've tried to claim. But again, that's the low brow. It needs no proof whatsoever.
Yep.
I always hate that. The low of the low.
It's terrible. It's terrible. This whole thing is ridiculous. There's a huge difference between, it's ridiculous. The huge difference between free speech and defamation. We're talking about defamation in this case and not free speech.
It's, by the way, people in the ecosystem have been trying to, they're always trying to divert things. So where you've been off, like with, again, family stuff or doing that, they're like, oh my God, Megan and Tug, they had a fallout and they admitted to, I was like,
it's so bizarre.
When did that happen? I missed that.
It's so bizarre because like we've never had an argument. It would be really weird. I don't know what that would be like. I don't usually fight with my friends, and when I'm gone, like you guys know, I don't normally stream every single day. We only did that for a while because there was so much going on. I normally take Friday nights off and Saturday and Sunday. I do not normally stream on those days, and I will go back to taking those off soon. Like I took last night off, which was good for me. I needed it. I needed a mental health day.
Yeah.
So if I'm gone, because it's my kid's birthday, or we're doing family stuff, or like tomorrow I have like Catholic Schools Week stuff going on. I've got, family stuff to do, church, blah, blah, blah. I don't usually stream on the weekends.
It's also when people target you in something specifically, sometimes you need a day to reset, and to be like, man, because these people are, they're targeting everybody. They're not just targeting Jeremy Hales. It's not the targeting either. It's the people doing it. Like one of the things, and I discussed this with Megan, that when I see somebody with the record, that especially when you're talking about leaning on a co-conspirator, when you've been convicted of not only fraud and extortion, but the stuff that they did with one co-conspirator that's listed in there, holy crap. Like that to me, that's a bit alarming. It's alarming enough though that I want to be transparent and be like, look at this shit. These people are crazy and creepy. But yeah, sometimes you need a moment and be like, whoa, man, because the gravity of this, it can be very heavy.
I got punched in the gut, Yeah. Like that is what it is. I didn't see that coming. And like I said, congratulations. You hurt somebody. That's great. Good for you. But watch out. Do that enough. There is a switch. There is a switch. And I'm not gonna back down from this because, I got my, somebody hurt me. Somebody put a knife in my back. I'm just going to learn. That's all. Learn and move forward.
Discussion of these people do not have a large platform. Like they typically, getting a couple of dozen views on quite literally.
They're trying to use me to make that change. That is what they are doing. And a person who, I considered a friend for many years decided to step on my back to try to climb the ladder. And if he thinks he's going to do that, he's got another thing coming. I will interview all of his victims. I will. I didn't do it before because he was my friend, and I chose to believe my friend. When my friend said that he was innocent and he didn't do these things, I said, okay, you made a bad decision though. And I'm backing away professionally, but personally, we'll still talk or whatever. I'll still help you. But I didn't investigate because I don't do that unless someone says, hey, now I want you to go after them. Well, then I'd be like, show me your evidence.
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
He actually said, quoting, okay, Megan could have felt betrayed because I was covering the story where I was living with this person. And I didn't tell Megan. And it was probably something she should have known instead of.
He absolutely should have known. I absolutely should have known. He was talking about that story on my channel, talking about this woman's ex-husband and going after him. And I had no idea that he was living with her. Well, I should absolutely have known, because then we would not have done that story. I would not have had. And that's when I quit working with him. Yeah. I quit working with him. I was like, nope, I'm done with this. We're not, you lied to me. And
you know what? You never went after a person in public. Like he says in his statement too, if she had felt betrayed, I'm sure you felt betrayed.
Of course I did.
Honestly. But the other part, and went after me, I would have survived, but would have made a very difficult time, much more difficult than it already was. And she didn't. You didn't.
And how is this situation any different? All I did was ask him not to talk with Bruce because he was trying to use him to get to me. That's all I did was say, this guy is only contacting you because he wants to hurt me. So please don't speak to him. And that's exactly the same thing as what he asked me to do. This woman sent me an email telling me all these terrible things. And she wanted me to, I don't know, take her side or go after Mike or whatever. I didn't feel it was my business. It was a private thing between the two of them. And I wasn't going to get involved. He, on the other hand, I asked him, please don't do this thing. After I did him that huge favor and kept I just allowed it to go away.
We were communicating as friends.
He decided to stab me in the back to try to make himself, get himself a platform, which he can't build on his own because he's boring and he's not fucking funny and he does bad journalism. That's another problem.
Well, I think it's a very, if you want a real indicator of that, let's see, since that separation, who's excelled? And excelled not just with
my channel exploded after I got rid of him because he was an anchor around my neck. And I never said these things out loud publicly. I never said them to him, but I'm saying it now because he has no problem stepping on my back. He's got no problem trying to take down my channel, with these band of criminals.
That's the other thing.
I'm just going to be honest.
BBB tried to take your channel out.
And I told him that.
Yeah. And,
I told him that.
And you're not communicating with a random person. It's not like you're hitting up, random person X. You're talking to somebody that, again, they were supposed to be friends, even if you've gone your own way. My thing, I try to live by. Try to, even if I have a falling out with somebody privately, I try not to burn them publicly because I try to remember, sometimes if there's an issue or something, sometimes this can be, but there was no issue. Like there wasn't something that came up. This was about clicks and about money, and that's the ugliest part of it.
It's all about his jealousy and rage that I, backed away from him and that I wouldn't let him be a part of my channel anymore. So, I made the right decision because he made a very unethical choice.
Well, I'm glad that you're not there. I'm glad that you're over here. We have fun. We have a good time.
Yep.
And you know what? People get jealous of that. There's quite a bit of jealousy. I see that. And I kind of love it because what it's saying is that apart, we do well. Together, oh my God, like the stuff that we can bring up to you. Oh man, it's something else. And we figured that out over time. It's like, holy shit, why haven't we done this for years? Yeah.
And speaking of, you have reached the next goal. So now the song I want to play for you, the version that I like the most, it got the lyrics a little bit wrong. It said Georgia instead of Florida. I'm trying to figure out a way to make it say Florida, but I don't think I can now. I'm going to have to record it myself and try to edge it in there.
The devil went down to Florida.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do.
When it says Florida, it's all right.
Florida. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. How do I make this embiggened? Get this bigger. All right. This is the one. It's going to say Georgia. It's supposed to say Florida, but
it's in construction.
It's under construction, but here you go. Wait, that's too. Legal Inferno.
A lawyer slick with a silver tongue.
Oh wait, is this the wrong one? Hold on a second. Hold on, that's the wrong one.
You didn't hear that.
Shh. Wait, where's the other one? Is it on this page? Maybe it's this one. No, that's the wrong one. It's on this page.
I get that. I have hundreds of them.
I know. Wait, why is this the same? Huh. Maybe it was this one. I don't know, but I kind of like it. I have a bunch of different ones.
The lawyer went down to the courthouse room, smirk on his face, spelling someone's doom.
There's so many good ones.
With eyes so clear, said she'd expose all he held dear.
Yeah, that's got the violin kind of deal, but that's not the one. Maybe it's this one. No, where'd it go? I just had it. This is good. No, where did it go?
I like that you keep clicking the same ones, like it's going to change somehow.
Why is it remember?
Oh my God.
Why did I lose it? How did I lose it?
Oh Lord.
No, it's got to be. Wait, is it this one? Oh, that's another yoga one. That one's that's a different yoga one, which is quite funny. Is it this one? Did I delete it?
Well, the lawyer went down.
No, that's not it either. Oh crap. Well, folks, I have completely screwed it up. All right, this one was okay, but it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite one. We'll just listen to it anyway.
A lawyer slick with a silver tongue went down to Georgia to play among the shadows dark where guilt belongs. He thought he could do no wrong. But in the town, a journalist sharp.
Yeah, I changed some lyrics after this one,
with fire in her eyes and a golden heart.
If I can find it again. I have thousands of songs.
She smelled the raw, knew where to start. With truth bright light, she'd play her part. He flashed his grin thinking he was slick, but she had the edge, she'd make it stick. In the courtroom's glow, she'd make him sick and expose the tricks of his dirty clique. Lions crooked, crimes well hid. Money changed hands for things he did.
I like the dirty clique idea. The clique, 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 like in high school. You know, that's how they behave. Boy, I don't know what I did with the other one. I must have done something with it. It was much better. But that's okay. I have to change the lyrics anyway. So I'm still working on that one. This one was funny though too. Here, wait, where did it go? This one. Look at the fox sitting on the table in the law table, like in a courtroom. It looks like two.
I am here.
It looks like two lightsabers. So this was my first attempt at the this. I might even go with this too for the yoga song. This is so funny.
Shattered courtrooms echoed lies, saw her bending, stretching skies, gaze fixed sharp, twisted mind, legal beast, no heart to find. Client's fate on the screen, yoga fox in serene, triggered rage burned inside, cold vendetta can't hide, gonna take her down, he swore.
Yeah, I love this one.
Every breath and nothing more, from deposition to demise, haunting dreams in his eyes.
It's got a really good guitar solo.
Paper trails, dark web of hate, set traps, seal her fate. Power moves in shadows cloak, lawyer's wrath in silent stroke. Smirk of vengeance laws his play. In the dark he finds his way. Fought walks unaware of his spite. Justice bends to his might. Day and night, obsession grows. Her peaceful world now he knows. Every step, a calculated plot. He'll destroy what she got.
I love the guitar. So that's another one I'm working on. Fun, yeah? It's good.
I like it. It's I've been playing with some a little bit.
Flux. She's got the devil horns going. Everybody get your lighters out. Yeah, this musical is going to be amazing.
I had this line, like, I listened to something the other day and I was thinking, yeah, I need like I don't know, I need another song. I got an idea in there. I was like, with this limp, I ought to be a pimp. Digital wrecking ball, meet another dog face simp. Arrested on trial, more admissions of guilt. Yeah, these barrels of tea are just begging to be spilled. You know? I was like, hell yeah, this will be fun. I think I'm glad I haven't finished it because with all this new wonderful tea that I've just been exposed to.
Yeah, there's so much more. There's so many more opportunities.
I was stunned for real when this new information came up. And I'm not meaning to tease a subject. I don't want you to take our word for it. There was a discussion back and forth because at the very beginning of this, there was these people don't need more attention. If it were just driving attention and driving clicks so they can charge $10K to cover something, that's insane. No.
Well, you can see they see this as a giant money pot, right? They see people are they watch our channels, they see that people support our show, and they think that this is an unlimited supply of revenue. But you know what's interesting about that? You know what's interesting about that to me is they can try all they want, but the nastiness that they're doing, they're not going to entice the right kind of audience that will support that. Yeah, maybe they'll get a few $100. Maybe they'll make a few $1,000. Who knows? Maybe they'll make their $10,000 on people who just want to see people, get. I don't even know. Like, I don't know what you call this. Defamed online, lied about. Like, already their first Substack article is full of lies.
They said that
of lies.
I have not looked to see if it was corrected, but the thing that I was sent by, again, BBB forwarded it over, and I was like, okay, whatever. He's just begging for relevance, hoping that this one would get read. I was like, no. But I noticed right off the bat, it noted that Jeremy was claiming that the signs called him racist. And it was like, no, that's not right. And it had a picture of some of the statements. Apparently they didn't read it. They just went
this is the level, though, of journalism that he does. It's one of the reasons why I didn't want to work with him anymore. He overlooks things. He's sloppy. That's the kind of sloppiness that you're going to get with him. So, have fun supporting that. I hope he makes $1 million. And,
I actually don't think these people deserve any money because, again,
no, they don't.
There's the issue.
Sarcastic.
Yeah, but on the side of it, him and what came up with sourcing and everything, that's awful. But there's a party. This is a team, a duo, and the second person, again, the convictions on there. These are convictions for the exact same thing. We've been talking about scams, and I mean, what do people need to see? I mean, this isn't an accusation. This isn't something being thrown around. Because again, if this was an accusation alone, that would be an actionable thing. But it's not. They're actionable stuff because
one of them tells on himself with his own mouth, and the other one has a federal record.
Yeah.
So I mean, these are the lowest of the low. the lowest of the low. And I'll tell you what, I'm starting to think that the people who give money to these kinds of people and to these, to the ecosystem are similar types of people. I think that
I think there's
I don't know.
some people though that have, some people are conditioned to, one of the things I hear is don't listen to these folks. And some people are conditioned not to listen to the other side. And they're not hearing the fact that these people aren't covering entire documents. They're not covering anything sometimes. They don't provide any information. All this is
Yahoos haven't even read the documents. They literally are emailing me, asking me to tell them the story.
Yeah. I'm talking the ecosystem, period. Like anything that's covered in the ecosystem, you don't see entire documents.
No.
Like one of the things we try to do, we try to go through entire documents. Now, there's so much stuff's come out that, like, again, we have to finish up the Shara.
We have to finish some depositions.
Yeah. I mean, because we want to be complete on it. But they completed that just like this because they were highlighted excerpts. And that's it. And where did those excerpts come from? I wonder indeed. But anyway, I don't know. Like I said, the thing, we're finally getting into a little bit of the evidentiary discussion, though. Apparently, all of those oops, that's the document I'm not going to share yet. Whoopsie. No. I mean, I meant to pull up a document. My bad. You might have seen a court document.
It's all right.
No, maybe that was an accident. Maybe not. Anyway, stay tuned for Monday.
Yeah, Monday should be pretty good.
No, but I want people to know that there is a legit background to all of that. And we're not just taking random pock shots and believe me's. You shouldn't believe anybody. You should look for evidence. But on this, just to note, Megan, what's on here. Following conferences, the defendants provide responses to 17 of the 20 document requests. Now there's 3 unleft resolved, but they note after their final effort, they dropped their objections too. And you see, isn't it amazing? All of a sudden, it's like, we're going to drop our objections to 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, all of a sudden. So
I'll believe it when I see it, though. I'll believe it when they actually turn over the discovery. One of the items in the discovery, by the way, with him running around saying there's no way to prove that they did these signs. Yes, there is, because in the discovery, they are asked for their GPS location on their on the Jeep on those exact days. And that can prove it. I wonder if they dropped their objection to that one. We'll have to go back and see which number.
Well, they've got 5. They note them here. So let's see. 5 is
good.
All phone records. I'll note the ones that they we'll just jump through the document and see which ones they did.
Okay.
And then, so number 5, this is when we were talking about here. All phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers you used during a relevant time period, and all documents, including mobile phone billing records, showing the calls you made or received during the relevant time period relating to the allegations in the complaint or in the plaintiff's response in opposition to your motion for summary judgment. So that's one they did. I was noting this too. There's been a bragging point that I thought the timing of this. They've been talking about getting new computers, new everything. Now the computer alone, getting that's
new phones. New phones.
But new phones comes up now when 2L, they start talking about their new phones. In the comments, you see MP saying, yeah, me too. Me too. I got a new device. Huh.
Jeez.
Time in there. It's very suspect when all of your your hardware suddenly changes over.
Very suspect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they all got new phones. And this is the Karen Reed excuse, by the way. Oh, I don't have any of that data. I have a new phone. I got a new phone. And it's like, well, your data transfers, right? Because you don't just delete you don't destroy the phone and then get a new phone and have unless you do it on purpose.
Yep.
If that's the excuse that they're going to make, like, oh, I don't have any of this stuff because we got new phones, that is not how getting a new phone works. They transfer all of your information from the cloud to your new phone, and it's exactly like your old phone. You don't lose information unless you did it on purpose.
They also, they object to number 11. Number 11 here, documents sufficient to show the number of online views and or impressions of any post on any of your social media accounts, including but not limited to YouTube accounts, Rumble accounts, Twitter accounts, Facebook accounts during relevant time period. Now, one of the reasons I think they would object to that is because they would have to admit to certain accounts. That we know that we're not just talking about their main accounts. We saw the John Cook discussion, for example, with Shara, and we know that John Cook was talking about whipping up a fake account to go after Jeremy. So I think that would expose quite a few other accounts that are out there. But yeah, what they're asking for is how much traffic are you getting off of this? Are you getting more traffic? And yeah, I think once they linked up and started going after Jeremy Hales, look at the ecosystem. The entire ecosystem is built on going after Jeremy Hales.
Mm-hmm.
They had no success before.
No success before. None of them have had success. Look at all their channels, and you can see huge spikes. The spike that I have in my channel, or that Tug has on his, is normal. Like, right? It's like a normal size spike for us.
I came off the death trial, man. My God, you want to talk about like rolling in, and I mean, to be honest, again, it comes with a lot of attention. This proves, by the way, the thing that they were saying, that this isn't a public interest. Oh, it very much
totally
is.
is. It totally is. Yep. It totally is. And
that would show it too.
Yep.
This would. So they have objections to that. The 12 mobile phone records sufficient to show all phone numbers and providers used between January 2021 to date, and all documents, including a mobile phone bill record showing the calls you made and received between that date to date, relating to the plaintiff by name or otherwise. So again, I don't want to turn over my phone records.
Mm-hmm. But all that's asking is for, wait a minute, go back. It's not asking for the phone records. It's asking to show all phone number and providers.
Yeah. And
it does ask for phone billing records. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Showing the call. I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's, she has stated multiple times that she has had many phone numbers, so locking that down, I think that's an important thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she can go in and claim right now, oh, well, look, under this phone number, I've only talked about X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, again, and that's where they keep saying that depot, that has no meaning. They complain about it so much. They're like, the only reason for that is to embarrass clients. No, she locked in many statements, including the fact that she has used multiple phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
She also was deleting evidence on her deposition. So there's evidence that she deleted things she was being told not to delete.
Did they... I wonder if they've gone with the same. Okay, so that's actually the only ones they list are the ones about the phone. So I'm wondering about the GPS thing, actually. Are they going with, nope, we don't have that? Is that going to be their answer?
So,
Because they don't have that,
Do we remember what number that was, the GPS thing?
I don't remember right off the bat. I'd have to look. But they said there was only 3. So these would be the 3.
So did they acquiesce and give up that information? I don't know.
Yeah. Or is their answer when they're saying we turned over that, they're saying, hey, we don't actually have anything like that at all.
Right. That's what they said. But there was an objection to that. Randy objected to that. So I would think that they would have to work that out.
Yeah.
Because that's going to show where they were when the signs were placed.
Yeah, I think that right there could turn out to be, you know, again, that doesn't, even if it came back as a no, that doesn't say that that wasn't them. I mean, there could have been me, but there's the potential for it to say, hell yeah, that was indeed one of them.
Mm.
I mean, that could be a bombshell there. I understand when he asked for that, I was like, oh yeah. Let's see. Then he goes over emotion.
People are telling me in the chat that Larry posted something about releasing a new video tomorrow on the Stark thing. It's not on Twitter. I'm not seeing it on Twitter though. So where is it? Is it like YouTube community page chat? Where am I supposed to look for this?
On his community page? So
I don't know. They're saying that they're all freaking out about it.
Give me a second. I'll look.
Yeah, if you could look, that would be cool. I'm looking on Twitter, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I'm finding it. Give me a minute.
I hope he is making a new video. That's cool. That means his studio is coming along.
Oh yeah, that's what it was, an hour ago. So it was during.
Oh great!
Oh my God, that might be something amazing to cover too. I won't cover it on the day it comes out. I may talk about something that comes up with it, but here, I'll pull this up here.
I had so much fun with Larry, by the way. Like Larry and Chandler were with us in Utah, and I had just a great time with him. He's just a decent, good person, and it was fun.
Well, Larry, you can tell that Larry's like a lot of us. On the microphone, he's the same person. You can just you can feel it. He's not putting on any airs, but he says it's a very short statement, but a very big one at the same time. New video about the Jeremy Hales, Scott and Bruce saga premieres tomorrow.
Ooh, exciting. I'm sure it's going to be great. Larry has been unavailable. And that's another thing is that like Bruce was probably taking credit for silencing Larry. And that's just not what happened at all. Larry had personal family stuff going on that was very distressing for him with his grandfather dying and being sick and in the hospital. And he was moving at the same time and he had stuff going on at work. And so it all just came together at just a difficult time.
He's not just a businessman, a lawyer. He's what's that key word? Oh yeah, successful.
He's a successful lawyer. Yes.
Yeah. And if anybody wonders, also, these statements that they made in the thumbnail litigation, which they ended up dropping, talking about success, they've gone after multiple channels that have actually had success. Like Larry, if you look through YouTube shorts, especially, my Lord, some of this stuff. Actually, give me a second. I'll illustrate that, because we talked about Jeremy Hales and the amount of views that he got off his stuff, but they were trying to credit DUI Guy's success. Look at some of these numbers. Okay, here's his most popular short, 18 million hits on that.
Wow.
That's monster numbers. And look at all the ones he's had millions of hits off of. It's not a couple. Like he's had quite a few million hitters, and they have nothing to do with that at all. They're about his practice.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
he deserves it. He's a very hardworking guy. He was working even in Utah. He was closing deals while we were getting clients while we were in Utah. I mean, he's very hardworking.
Video wise too, let's just be clear on that one too. Look at his numbers. Like this one has 23 million hits.
Wow.
There's
a video of him that I want to go over with people. I've been meaning to do it. It's him doing jury selection, and it is fabulous. It is so much fun to watch. I laughed and laughed. The prosecutor is so flummoxed by him. The prosecutor keeps getting angrier and angrier because Larry keeps like dismissing huge groups of jurors because he gets them to admit that they can't be objective.
Right.
And the prosecutor is he's so at the end of his rope. He doesn't know how to handle it. And it is so funny to watch. It's so fun to watch. I want to go over it one of these days on the channel with you guys because you've got to see Larry in action. It's
that was
fun.
the thing he brought. Okay, when the Depp Heard case came up, there were a lot of voices out there, but the thing that he brought that I thought really spoke volumes about himself and the way as a lawyer that he perceives things. He didn't focus just on the trial. He made commentary about it, but he focused on the jury. And he called it right. Most people, like people like myself or yourself, we talked about what we thought would happen and called the case. But a lot of lawyers wouldn't go on record and say, hey, I think it's going to be X outcome. They would say, well, it should be because Larry was just straight up. He was like, no, I'm watching these jurors and this is the way that they're going to go. I can see it on them. And he was 100% right in that.
He seems to have that as a skill of his, is jury picking and, jury selection. And it's a really fun thing to watch him do. It's fun to watch him in court. Larry is, as animated as he is on YouTube, he's equally animated in a courtroom. And he's just fun. He's fun to watch.
Well, the shorts are amazing.
He's much younger than I thought he was, too. He's a young man. He's only in his early 30s.
Oh, wow. With his experience and seasoning,
I know he's going to be a bazillionaire by the time he's 45.
Indeed.
Really. I mean, and good for him. He deserves it. He works really hard, and it was a real pleasure to get to know him better and spend some more time with him in person. I've never done that before. I always wanted to, meet up with people, and I always had issues come up and I couldn't, which was a big regret because I was going to go to that Vegas meetup where Jeff was with everybody. And I, at the last minute, could not go. So I'm glad I got to at least go say goodbye and meet up with some people. What was I going to ask you? I've totally forgotten now. Never mind. Thought derailment.
I know how that is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. We covered the crux of that document. I do want to review the entire document, but I'm not going to. It's 10 pages of going through, so I think I'll save that. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll go over the entire document. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'll probably do a pre-stream. I don't know. We'll see what we're doing tomorrow and everything. Or if you're around.
Yeah, I have stuff to do with the family tomorrow. I'm not going to be back until I don't know, 6-ish my time.
Yeah, so I'll probably do, since Jeremy has his live stream, of course. I'll pre-stream, so I'll probably do something around the 5 my time. I guess that's about the same time. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see what's what.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to jump. I got stuff I got to go take care of. I'm going to keep working on my my Suno songs actually, because they're making me feel good.
Okay. Yes, do that for sure.
It's like an antidepressant, really. It really is. Suno is a miracle. It's a miracle. I love it so much. All right, guys, you take care. Everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for all the super chats and for all the fun that we had tonight. Appreciate you. See you, Tug.
All right, see you. That was fun and unexpected, And again, it's good to see that Megan, headspace wise, she's had to process this stuff. So props to her. And I know that just like Jeremy, again, people put on a public face, but things do get to you sometimes. They do. And I mean, Megan's pretty blunt about that too. But you can see, like, after sleeping on it and thinking on it and really seeing the game plan that some of these folks have adopted. Yeah. I did slip in the court thing. Totally not on purpose. But yeah, there is an entire court document to go over Monday, plus other things. I don't want to, like I said, tease it too much. I just want you to know, again, when we talk about this stuff, these aren't just fabricated statements. We see way too many of them coming out of the ecosystem, things that don't come with evidence. So I want people to understand that there is indeed evidence. So let me get super chats here. Also, SC, I'm going to give love to as well. Sent over Cash App and for Megan's challenge accepted. I like that. And also sent over an additional and for the bug popcorn fund. That's very funny. I love it. So thank you. And if I don't intentionally leave anybody out that way, sometimes again I monitor that off my phone. I monitor the chat off my phone too. So sometimes I miss stuff with that. Let's go over super chats here. Okay. So Sin, thank you for the gifted membership. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sojourner, thank you for the membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Green Veggie Bees, thanks for the 10. I'm home. All right. Glad to have you. I know you were like, I'm traveling or I'm leaving or whatever, the other day. So glad you're at home now. Got there. Props to you. Reezy Wills dropped 5 gifted memberships on folks. Thank you for that. Love the gifted memberships. They're always amazing. Iowa Gal, thanks for the 5. Always remember, it's Jeremy's fault, not Tom Megan's. That's right. It's all Jeremy's fault. Blame Jeremy. Indeed. Weezy Wheels, thanks for the 5 as well. Good evening, Tug. I hope you and the family are doing okay. We are indeed. And as always, too, for you, I hope you are doing well. You and yours. Love to you still. Prayers for everything that's gone on. Appreciate you. Lisa, what's up, Lisa? Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Appreciate you, Lisa, by the way. Also, people taking back Lisa. I appreciate the Lisa's coming. Taking back the name. Don't let them have the names. Lisa, additional, not Lisa, different Lisa gifts. Thank you for the breadstick money on that. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Dare, thanks for the 5 there. Timed it perfect. Right when I clocked out at work, a live stream started. Yeah, that's actually that was my plan. I was waiting till you clocked out. No, I'm glad that lined up for you. Appreciate you, my friend. Hippie Witch, thank you for that gifted membership. Hippie Witch, and thank you. Appreciate you. Carol, thanks for the 2. Criminal Enterprise. They are definitely a prize to see. The derps again. I did like the I don't know. I liked both of them. The easiest one to say was the dumbest ecosystem or repeat perps or perpetrators. I do like that one. That's easy to say, but I really did also like dumbest ecosystem, ridiculous persons. I did like that too. Or ridiculous perpetrators. That could be it. That almost sounds like an award. And the award for the biggest derp goes to Candace, thanks for the 7. The man's name is Richard Luthman. The other man is named Michael Volpe. Not sure. Maybe. Yes, indeed. You do have their name. Their names are public, by the way. They are. I just the reason I don't give them love on their names is because I'm not trying to drive them in traffic. I don't want it to be confusing on who they are. All right. I don't want there to be any confusion. But also in that, I'm not trying to give them traffic because they don't deserve it. They don't at all. It's an insane thing to see what they've tried to pull in this, and again with money and stuff. But yes, the name will, especially when we're talking about court records and stuff, they will definitely come up. Richard, thanks for the 2. Marie's great idea. Ego system. The ego system. That's funny. I actually like that quite a bit too. Ego system away. Fun times there. Candace, thanks for the 20. Popcorn money for Bug. She's absolute sweetest. Thank you. Yes, she is indeed. She's the greatest, by the way. Love to her for sure. She is. She's such a good kid too. She's very loving, nice. She's very energetic. You'll notice. It's awesome though. Sue, thanks for the 2. Sue, thanks for 2. Love me some breadstick. We're big cash trains, indeed. Pulling into the station. Sean, thanks for the 10. Supporting those breadsticks. Yeah. going out to eat for a bit on those breadsticks. Outline, right now. I don't mean for real life. Kitty Cat, thanks for the 2 months there. There's not a statement. 2 months of support. Thank you. That is its statement. Chris, thanks for the 2 there. Breadstick money. Thank you for that. Thank you for the breadstick money on it. Appreciate you. Kelly, thanks for the 5. And now understand Jeremy's questions of the fence is only in front of Jeremy's drive. All the other sides and neighbors can fully see him. Huh. Money. It is interesting, isn't it? It is. We got a privacy fence, but only. And it's short. When you drive by, you see over it. I mean, it is the perfect illustration of all of this madness and mess. Yeety McYeterson, thanks for the 5. Breadstick money, eat your heart out. It's a rumpled fork skin and 2 L's. You only wish you had so much support. Oh, by the way, Bubbles, blow me. Indeed, yeah. We all we love going out and buying some bubbles, right? Totally not talking about a person. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. Appreciate that. Max Lab, thanks for 2. Jeremy already said they destroyed all devices. That's actually not surprising. I imagine, again, when you trade in phones, the devices go the way of the dodo bird. And there have been statements about other devices too. It wasn't just one set of device changing over to another one. Excuse me if I remember my cigar off a minute. But when Lynette spoke about this in her deposition, she brings up phone numbers and multiple devices. She's saying, I'm not sure if it's on this device, so and that's not the way text messages work, by the way. Text messages can be forwarded over to another device. Every time that you get a new phone, you notice you don't dump all of the old segments unless you do that intentionally. But if you're talking about different phone numbers, well, you run into a different thing too. So thank you, Max Lab. Also, appreciate you sending things over as well. Appreciate you in general. Hope you had a great birthday, by the way. Max Lab's birthday was the other day. So love to Max Lab on that as well. Also, something that was mentioned, I want to give love to Travis as the new owner of. He actually, there was some discussions about Tubetown Trois, and well, props to Travis on that. Loved it, guy. Crazy old fart. Thanks for the 2. R.I.P. Bobby Sterling. Yep, indeed. All right, I know there's been a few of those that I haven't mentioned, like celebrities and other folks, and I need to. Sometimes I want to make a list, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, it's so sad too. James, thanks for the month there. Lynette should sue Bruce over his bad legal advice / assistance after this case is over. That actually can happen. I mean, depending, I wonder, like I said, with Scott Stark, I'm curious. I'm really looking forward to that DUI guy video because I'm really curious about the Stark stuff. Scott Stark, he ended up getting recruited into a case. We know he was recruited, and I can only imagine what he was told about a case, how he was recruited. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where everything goes with that. BK, thanks for the 10 months. Amen to going back to normal weather in Florida. Indeed. It is wrong when New Orleans, Florida, and more has insane weather. It seems very wrong. Kim, thanks for the 5. It amazes me that Jeremy was made to disclose all his business dealings in Depot, BBB, LMNOP, can't disclose basic communications. Well, that's the thing. Yes, BBB and co are Delulu. Yeah, indeed. That's why they came off a lot of stuff too, because ultimately they would be made to disclose certain things. They would indeed. They want to argue over specific ones, but yeah, Jeremy you know, he's forced to put things out there. I mean, that is part of the claims in the case. So he is going to have to disclose things. And the reason that he didn't want to disclose in the first depot is because there had been no discussion about privacy. You know, they complain about phone numbers, and yet they want BBB, a person who is obviously sharing his documents with 2Ls. You know, we've seen plenty of proof of that. We've seen communications behind the scenes with the ecosystem and more. I could see why he would be he'd be very, very hesitant on that. Not only that, but you know, he's not the only person that has access to that. See, everybody that looks at this, they seem to, I think some people are under the false presumption that only BBB has access to everything that's said there. No, the defendants have access to what is said there. You know, BBB is their spokesperson and more. But when he's talking about business and business endeavors, when those questions come up, he wants to make sure he's shielded because the defendants, they would have access to what is said. Kim, oh yeah, I got that. Thank you, Kim. Sorry, I thought I clicked it over, but thank you again, Kim. Deborah, thanks for the super sticker there. Appreciate the super sticker. That is very appreciated. Yeah, I have my favorites. Thanks for the 2. Let's hear No More Yoga Breadstick Money. Thank you for that too. There's a few in here. Crazy Old Fart dropped 2 for breadstick money. Thank you. Michelle dropped 5 on the breadstick money. Indeed. Thank you for that too. Patty dropped 2 on the No More Yoga. I love that idea. That's a hilarious song idea. Just Swartz, thanks for the 2. Breadstick money as well. Thank you. Jerry, thanks for the 2. Breadstick money as well. Thank you very much on that. Taz, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you for that. I love gifted memberships. Like I say, those are awesome. Cynic in Chief, what's up, my friend? Thanks for the 2. We need memes because BBB, put them in a filing. That is true. That is true. It is strange to have yourself referred to in filings as well. You know, when you're going through a filing, you're like, wait, what? What? They said what again? Indeed. Suzette, thanks for the $10 super sticker on that. Thank you for the super sticker. Except for both of you and Deborah. Man, I love super stickers. Like I said, I love going back and looking at those. So thank you. Ryder Chick, thanks for the 5 there. Happy Saturday to here's some breadstick money from the haters. Oh, and for you too, of course. Indeed, thank you. Not feeling quite myself tonight. I'm glad you're on. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I hope it has been entertaining for you. Terry, thank you for the 5 there. It's not a statement, but it is a statement. Thank you. Appreciate you there. Sue, thanks for the 2 there. Those are Megan and yoga. Indeed. Indeed. I love it. I love it. No love for the no love from the ecosystem for yoga. Mama. Love that name, by the way. Thanks for the 5 there. There's not a statement again, but it is its statement. So thank you for the backing. James, thanks for the 5 there. I hate all musicals. I'm looking forward to watching Megan's Breadstick Money. Indeed. And that's how I feel. You know, I don't really enjoy musicals, but I enjoy what we're talking about. Like we put these together and stuff. It's fun to see. Like you understand the inside comments and jokes, and it's funny. That's what makes it a lot of fun. Shadows in my again. I'm going to say sofa. I'm sorry, but I love it. For some reason, I want to say that all the time in my soda, but I still want to say sofa. Thanks for the 10 there. Breadstick money. Thank you. That's funny. I still can't believe I read that as my sofa. That cracks me up every time I see it. Elfie, thanks for the 2. No more yoga. Sneak peek. Love tugging, begging Megan. Indeed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Lindy, thanks for the 249. Breadsticks for yoga. Thank you. Aries, thanks for the 5. Breadstick and yoga go hand in hand. I know, man. Can't have yoga without the breadsticks. Gotta have a reason for that, right? Rhea Rye. What's up, Rhea Rye? Hope you're doing good, by the way. Love to you guys. Thanks for 2 because I need a distraction. Play the music. Indeed. And like I said, love to you guys. You know. Janice, thanks for the 10 breadstick money to make the haters mad. This one's for you, Walrus, in anticipation or punishment for not appearing in depot. Just made the judge mad. Have fun in jail. We'll see how that turns out. The judges react differently, but I'm sure they won't be happy about, there were comments they posted about that too. They were talking about the outcome. And it was funny because they noted this as an objection. They objected to, but they didn't object. They just flat out said, hey, I'm not going to do this. So there's a big difference in objecting to doing something and just flat out refusing to do something. So Taz, thanks for the 5. Tug, Lug, and Bug, Candy Fun. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. They would definitely appreciate it too. Terry, thanks to Megan. Glad you made it. I know, man. It was fun seeing her there. I'm glad she was able to kick in. Jeanette, thanks for the super sticker as well. Because I love those, especially on repeat. Checking them out. Thank you. Rebel Bird. What's up, Rebel? Hope you're doing good. Thanks for the 20 there. Here's some sourdough. Brick money. Yep. Got to get those. Got to get some other bread types, right? Indeed. Zohan. What's up, Zohan? Thanks for the 5. The undersigned expects Tug to yoga with Peggy Megan. So ordered. Thus it is ordered, right? Indeed. Emma, thanks for the 2. Song. So we got our song there. Jess Schwartz, drop 2 on there. Again, no statement, but it's its own statement. Thank you. Gigi Storm, thanks for the 2. Brucey, the lulyer that just keeps giving. Indeed. I love it. You know what's funny is he complained at first that we wouldn't read his stuff. You remember that, right? He threw a fit about it. Oh, they won't read it. They won't do this. They won't do that. And then we started reading his stuff. He was like, oh my God, they're making fun of me. How dare they read my stuff? You've got to love it. Rachel, thanks for the 5. Megan, your timing was epic. As just quashed Facebook speculation of a feud between you and Tug. Yeah, see, I'd read that and I was like, what? The what now? I mean, typically, see, people got used to us streaming on the daily, but that is not a normal thing. We had a 2 times that it was supposed to, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that has the condition that other things don't come up, because we have family, we have all kinds of things that come up in your regular life. So there being just a few days, I mean, that is such a strange conspiracy, but that's something that the ecosystem does. They like to fuel these mad conspiracies that there are somehow problems and more. That way you don't pay attention to the merits of anything that is actually discussed. That kills me. They love creating these just false rumors out of nowhere. Mr. Sega, thanks for the 7 there. Breadstick money, thank you. Appreciate you, man. Oh, I gotta pull out my old Sega now. Carolyn, thanks for the 20 there. In my opinion, if there's nothing to hide, all items that they're asking for would be handed over. Here's the information that shows nothing happened. Since things happened, they don't want to show it. Indeed. Now, I don't never go. I do want to note this. Lawyers will try to minimize anything. They will argue and object. But as far as turning over items, now we don't know what's been turned over either. We will see what's there. But it is interesting about the phones. Again, those devices, they replace. Not just that, hardware. All hardware has been replaced. And they're like, yay, that's great. But again, what does that mean, really? Just make you wonder. April, thank you for your super sticker as well. Thank you very much, April. Appreciate you. Jamie, thanks for the 2. Again, not a statement on it, but it is a statement. So thank you. Aussie Wombat, thanks for the ate their bubblegum and pizza bites. Man, you are speaking the language. You got the lingo down. Wolfkinder, thanks for the 5. Hey there, Tuck. New merch idea. Combat potato card to play with Clout Goblin. Yeah, I mean, it's funny that no longer a lawyer challenging people to combat. I mean, that's funny. Like if you look them up in articles, it's the funniest stuff. Wolfkinder, thanks for thanks for that again. I was going to read it again. I thought I clicked over. Thank you. Photo lady, thanks for the 2. Let's laugh our boucans off with them again. Yeah, indeed. Thank you. Boo-hines, I like that. Rider Chick, thanks for the 10. Rumors are back that you guys are fighting, feuding, or whatever they're saying. I think you should stage a big fight, dueling songs to see which of us laugh the hardest. They're idiots. We could, My problem is, though, when I do a song, I take liberties. I talk about things that are going on, and with Megan, again, what negative I'm going to say? I can make jokes about, again, things that she brings up, like medium smart and joking about yoga and stuff. But as far as I actually see the work ethic, I see like how much work goes into everything that we talk about. And it is, I think it would stun people how much work we all do, trying to make sure that we not only find things, but we understand things. That way we're not getting things wrong all the time like certain folks out there. I have my favorites. Thank you for the super sticker too. Thank you, my favorites. Appreciate that. Emma, thanks for the 10. 9 minutes behind. Megan, your video's good. I love that video. It was funny. I did. Cynthia, thanks for the $3 super sticker too. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Paul, thanks for the 2. Even the devil won't visit Otter Creek. Nope, they stuck with Georgia apparently. Cynthia, thank you for your super sticker there too. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Appreciate the super sticker. That is awesome. Slug, what's up, Slug? Thanks for the 2. I've woken from my coma. You survived. Are you still with us? Are you still with us? Lisa, thanks for the 5 there. Dirt funds with a side of breadsticks. Indeed. And the award goes to Janice. Thanks for the 10 there. BBB is nothing but an ambulance chasing the lawyer. Indeed. Indeed. Now, I know, like I said, he says that is defamation, to call somebody an ambulance chaser. You saw the statements that he made about Larry. That's the fascinating thing to me. Like, he gets all butthurt and twisted out of shape when people make comments, but you saw the stuff that he said about Larry in his open letter. Isn't that interesting? Rules for thee, not for me, right? Wyatt's Grammy, thank you for the 2. Wyatt's Grammy. BBB and the Derbs, the band. It does sound pretty good. The Derbs have the solo. She Hunts, thanks for the 5 there. Oh, love return. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Jeffrey, thanks for the 2. We'd like to discuss your insurance policy. I have my favorites. Thanks for the 2 there. Flock off, derps. Yes, indeed. Sue Scott, thanks for the 2 there. Megan Fox, you want to go? Yeah, indeed. Duel at dawn. Carol B, thanks for the 7 months. Megan needs a Fox with boxing gloves. Yeah, I have a few of those myself. I think that would be funny. She needs to get her one too. I'll tell her she needs to do that. Suzanne, I'm sorry. I saw the snoozy Q. So Suzanne or snoozy Q, thanks for the 5 months. The derpy derp song. The derpy derp song, indeed. Yeah. Jeffrey, thanks for the 5. I don't know how this message is going to come through to you, but we've been hoping you hear from us. You've been in a coma 7 years. Please wake up. It reminds me of have you ever seen that movie, The Prince of Darkness? You know, the John Carpenter movie. In the beginning, they have a message that keeps playing through everything, and then you find out we are transmitting from the year 1999. You know, because it was from the 80s. You know, you're receiving this broadcast as a dream. That's what it reminds me of. Yeety McGeterson, thanks for the 2. Video makes this look like a penguin. We need a Batman. I wonder if Jeremy Hales can put on a Batman outfit. Just curious. Puzzle Puzzler, thanks for the 2. Seinfeld. Ridiculous. Yes, I like the ridiculous, though. That was really funny. Like when you read through those messages with that came from the Shara video, by the way. Like, that just cracked me up. That and the turtle digging its way out. I thought that was something else too. Kim, thanks for the 2. Tug, Megan, make a musical dirge for BBB. Battles in. Well, I'm been working on a new song too, so we'll see how all that comes out. Megan makes more epic songs. I like throwing down like a rap call out here and there. I have to give her like credit. Hers take longer to make, but they come out to be epic. Smitty, thank you for that membership. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you. Appreciate you, my friend. Is that Remy Rat? Thank you for the 10 gifted membership drop. I did see those fall in, by the way. That was awesome. I appreciate that. Like I said, I love memberships. I think that is one of the best things that come up with it. Sherry, thanks for the 5. Any idea when the child's name was changed from when it was time of adoption to HG? I think LNLP is trying to cover up reports. Food for thought. Yeah, I always wonder. I don't know the time frame of that. One of the things that I've not really looked at, like that has not been my wheelhouse on that. You know, other people have done more digging into things that are related again to that. I've looked at more of the statements. The thing that I've focused on, because they've tried to say that, number one, any kind of reports, they all belong to Jeremy. So I wanted to focus on where other reports come from, you know, things that came before Jeremy Hales was even a thought in any of this. And also, I wanted to look at the red flag statements, you know, the statements about JC, or the statements about grandkids, or the statements about other folks, and the allegations that were made that involved a little one. Like those things, again, they're statements out of their own mouths. I think those have quite a bit of power. And they take apart certain things that they try to throw around, because they pretend that there were no red flags. There were no statements, even though BBB verified that messages for Shara, oh, those are real. And again, let me preface this by no contacting anyone associated with any story that we do whatsoever. No contact at all. You just, you watch what plays out. Clear as mud. Thanks for the 26 months. Hey, Tug. Hey, how are you doing, by the way? I hope you're doing good. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a great one. Zoa, thanks for the 2 there. Hey, Megan, Flame tucking cigar. Indeed. Probably better than them. They like to go out. Lolly, thanks for the 10 months. Megan, you look sexy. I would not I would not do downward dog from LPJC BBB group. I might want to pet purr. Oh no, I don't even want to see those people doing yoga. Not in any way, shape, or form. But love the Tug and the little Tug. Thank you. Appreciate you. You know, yes, I don't even want that idea in my head. Well, thanks for the 5. I told Tug about this POS when Muggin wasn't on your stream. Oh, you're talking about the that one guy? Yeah. I mean, right away, like I said, right when all of that came up, the names were added per BBB, and when names come up in it, I get curious. Like I look at names, so that really got me interested. And again, one of those two parties, their statements, the things that we talked about, you know, with the non-disclosure and this, that stuff he brought up in his interview with 2L. Like he himself said those things. So it's not digging up some item that popped up, you know, as speculation or innuendo. He himself stated these things, his own words. So thanks for the 2 there. Hashtag tugging with mugging. That sounds great and bad. And if you know, well, then you would know. But if you didn't know, then what a hashtag, right? Denise, thanks for the 10. The haters spew lies that uneducated people believe because they have no critical thinking skills. Others are people that don't like Jeremy Hales and simply follow because the haters don't like Jeremy Hales. There's also, there's this thing when people have success, you'll notice, where are they now? For example, I think that's the perfect example of everything. Where are they now? When you went in and you reviewed that, what did that talk about? It talked about people failing. It talked about their lives falling apart, you know, and we tune into that socially. Like that was a big thing. Give me 1 minute. I'm setting up my redirect too while we're talking here tonight. As it is, I have a few more super chats, but I'm going to go ahead and set this. As it is Saturday, I always make sure that I redirect to Flashcast. I will preface my redirect, as always, by saying if you are an easily offended person, that probably will not be the show for you. There will be items that come up that may offend you. There will be things that come up in discussion that will be political and other items. And if you want to go in and you want to laugh at some stupid, well, have fun. I will probably go over there tonight. I'll see exactly what I shouldn't say. I will for sure. But I did last week. I had a lot of fun. Raging Rhino was on there. Tom was on there. I love those guys. Yellow Flash, of course. You know, we goof off. We talk about pop culture, or really anything that comes up. Like it could be anything. But I always try to preface that. I know some people, it's not my stream. So my topics, I stray away from specific topics. Like I may have opinions on them, but we're covering something that, in my opinion, is bigger than any divide folks could have, you know. And personally, too, like when you're talking about things, like I said, I don't care. Like if you're neither do they. But people get very offended over certain things. So if you get offended, don't follow. But if you want to have fun, you can check it out. Carrie, thanks for the fun there. Everyone in the chat was stating that they got a new phone. Yes, indeed. About getting a new phone. It was trying. It's something. It was kind of something to talk about. Well, I did find that to be an interesting subject, though. You know, again, it's not the thing; it's the timing. Everybody just suddenly replaces all of their stuff. Again, you know, what does it mean? Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what goes with that. Angela, thanks for the 2 there. Tug, what's your P.O. box? Sent 3 items for the girls. Awesome. I'll keep an eye out for that. And thank you very much, too. I'll definitely keep an eye out. Thank you. Lawanda, thanks for the 5 there. Lies go in, the lies go out, the lies go in and out in their mouths. It sounds like a Dr. Seussing of everything, doesn't it? For sure. BK, thanks for the 2. Breadstick, yoga money. Thank you. Appreciate you there. Indeed. Yes, breadstick yoga time. Vanessa, thanks for two. Hey, Tug, I'm told I missed 3 little bug appearances tonight due to my earlier excursion in the cookie aisle. And please give Bugs some sweets to share with luck. Indeed, yes. So there were baby umbrella girl. Well, she's not a baby anymore, but you know, the name sticks. So yes, she is she has been cited many times on there. Yeah, tonight, I think, like I said, I will do my best to get over to Flashcast and goof off there. But I'm gonna do a song. I actually want to pull up a song. I'm gonna do the Hat Rack one. I think that'll be a good addition tonight. And then I'm going to redirect you all. Okay, so again, appreciate you tonight. Tomorrow, I know we started a document. We actually had a conversation that I think was bigger than what we were discussing. Again, it dealt with these additions, but it allowed Megan to talk for just a minute on something. And that is a huge subject, like all of that is. So anyway, I will more than likely see you tomorrow. And I'm going to leave you with a song here. Let's bust it out and then I'll redirect you. Okay, let's do it.
Swift drop, big another epic flow while we rip you on